Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, and one with a rich history. In 1957, the doors of UNLV opened to its first students. Now, 68 years later, the doors of Allegiant Stadium are open to all alumni, family, friends, and students of the Scarlet and Gray for today's homecoming game between the UNLV Rebels and the Air Force Falcons. Welcome inside the Death Star. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves on the call. It's been 35 days since UNLV's last home game, Johnny. UNLV's 5-0. They're rolling high, and both these teams' high-scoring matchups is going to be a big one here today.
And to quote Dorothy today, Wyatt, there truly is no place like home. This Rebel football team has been yearning, fiending to get back home to play in front of these fans, and it looks like a packed house today. We have family, friends, alumni all in the building, and Dan Mullen and his football team are ready to put on a show back in the entertainment capital of the world, Wyatt.
They're 5-0 for the first time since 1974, and last week in Wyoming put up an absolute display in all three phases, especially in the special teams category. Caden McGee, Jaden Bradley, just to name two, because two block punts were returned for 2 touchdowns last week. What are you expecting to see from each phase this game today?
Well, going into this game, Wyatt, when you're looking at this Air Force football team, they want to make this game a shootout. This team has not scored less than 30 points all season long. On the flip side, though, they've also given up 30 points to all of their opponents and a couple 40 balls on top of them as well. So if Air Force wants to be successful in this football game, they're going to want to score points. If UNLV wants to be successful in this football game, they're going to have to dominate the line of scrimmage, understand that they don't need to get in a shootout with this football team, keep those guns a-blazing, let them relax, settle into this football game, and that starts with their leading rusher from last game, Jet Thomas. He had 16 carries for 96 yards and a receiving touchdown last game. I would like to see them feed him some more. It's going to open up that pass game for our Air Force offense or defense that has not been good so far this year.
The Rebels will return this one and start on offense first. Jalen Glover returned from the 5 and brought down at the 30 for a return of 25. The Falcons coming into this one tied first in the Mountain West for points per game, 36.5, and the Rebels are third with 35.6. Anthony Calandria coming out for the first time today, over 1,000 yards passing and over 250 on the ground himself. 9 passing touchdowns, 1 on the ground himself. It's going to be a huge one here for him today. They will start off first play from their own 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Thomas handoff off the left side, spinning and falls down for a gain of 6 there.
And to start the game, that's a stark contrast from what we saw last week against Wyoming. They come out first play of the game and they run a flea flicker. It turns into a fumble and Wyoming starts with the football. Right there, what do? You give it to the guy I wanted to start this football game, Jet Thomas. He picks up a nice 5-6 yard gain. It's perfect for the Rebels to start.
Thomas in the backfield, 2nd and 4 for the Rebels at their own 36. Calandria, keeper, and he's going to slide for a gain of 2.
And you got to think that Dan Mullen and this football team, all his coaching staff, and Corey Dennis as well, they have to be speaking to Anthony Calandria after every game. I need you to take care of your body. What does he do right there? He doesn't have any of his reads open, so what does he do? He goes, uses his legs, tries to pick up as much as he can, and slides. He's going to be extremely important for this football team if they want to have success for the rest of the year.
Will now be 3rd down and 3 for the Rebels. Spread formation in the shotgun. Trips left here. Calandria looking right side, near side. Dropped pass wide open there. Intended for Day-Day Reynolds. Unable to come down with it, and it's going to be a quick 3 and out here for the Rebel offense.
And sometimes you just got to spit on those gloves, wipe them off a little bit, and keep going to the next play. That was a beautiful ball by Anthony Calandria, being able to stay in the pocket, put the ball right where only Day-Day Reynolds could get it. Unfortunately, he was unable to come down with that football. It's a quick 3 and out for the Rebels. Still, it was a promising drive. I'd just like to see them execute better on that drive.
So now deep for the Falcons is Cade Harris. He's going to let this one bounce off the punt of Cam Brown, and that will roll to the 22-yard line in Falcon territory. And now introducing this Falcon offense, Liam Zarka. This kid is versatile as it gets.
He is going to be not only this team's leading rusher so far on the season, but the passer at the quarterback position. Everything that Air Force wants to do on the offensive end of the football, it starts with him. We are going to see him be the main focal point, and there's also going to be a lot of wrinkles that they have within this triple option offense for Air Force.
Air Force in that pistol formation. Behind him is Frew, and beside him is Gist. It's going to be a keeper for Zarka off the left side and brought down at the 27 for a gain of 5.
It's going to be very key for this UNLV defense to start with their linebackers coming downhill, and that starts with Marcel McDuffie, one of the captains for this football team. But if they want to be successful, they are going to have to guard and make sure that they stay contained on the edges of the defense today.
And the first penalty of the day goes against the Rebels. Jake Pope Jr., the junior from Buford, Georgia, with the face mask call there.
And it looks like, unfortunately, he just got a little bit of Zarka's face mask on that play right there, trying to make a play on the quarterback, setting up a good chunk play for this Air Force offense to start the game.
The announcement there by Patrick Foy. So now 1st and 10 for the Falcons at their own 43. Shotgun formation, heavy set. Play action, Zarka looking near side, overthrown, intended for his big man tight end, Bruin Fleischman.
And for this Air Force offense, if you're watching this game at home, there's going to be a lot of pre-snap motion. There's going to be a lot of changes and audibles at the line of scrimmage to catch the defense off guard. Right there, they tried to do that same exact thing, trying to get their tight end going straight above the seam. Unfortunately, him and Zarka were not able to connect on that play, setting up a 2nd and 10 for this UNLV defense.
Under center here is Zarka. 2nd and 10, 13:04 in this first quarter. Frew in the pistol formation. And the option here flicks it over to Frew. He gets outside, breaks the tackle, fighting for yards, and is hit out of bounds by Bin Wahad for a gain of about 7.
That was a great job right there by the running back, Frew, being able to get off of one tackle. As a running back, you never want to be able to get tackled by the first guy that makes contact. Amarish Brown tries to lay out, get a leg tackle right there on that play. Unfortunately, he's not able to get a secure tackle on him, setting up a 3rd and short now.
Carson and Frew, the backs for Air Force here under center. It is 3rd and 4 for the Falcons. Some adjustments in the formation here. Motion right. And it's going to pick up the first down. The carry there for the Falcons by number 3, Matt Long.
And Matt Long right there, understanding and having a high football IQ. You have to understand, you have to pick up 3 yards on that play. So what does he do? He puts his head down, and he looks like Cam Scatterboo, trying to get through and run through a wall to pick up that first down. He's able to do that for the Falcons right there.
1st and 10 at the Rebel 45. The Falcons in command here on their first drive of the day. Handoff up the middle for a gain of 3 is Dylan Carson, the senior from Marysville, Washington.
And we've seen so far in this game, Wyatt, a lot of the things that Air Force is trying to do, it starts with their running game. They are not a very prevalent and very high prolific passing offense. A lot of their passing plays come from being able to run the ball and use play action to their advantage.
Carson in the backfield, Frew being motioned. And now a reset here on 2nd and 7 at the Rebel 42. Getting set here, Falcons, heavy set formation. Frew, the lead blocker. Zarka's going to keep it, and he's tackled after a gain of 3 by a number of Rebels. Jaheim Joseph with the start of that.
Great job by Jaheim Joseph being able to come downhill from that safety position and just hit the quarterback. When you see that this guy is going to be the leading rusher for this football team, they know going into the scout for this week that they're going to have to make sure he thinks twice about some of the runs that he has in this game. And now you're setting up a 3rd and 4. Let's see what they can do through the air or if they're going to pass the ball here.
Zarka motions Frew, now flicks it ahead, and is shot down short by Chief Borders. Great tackle there On the carry was Cade Harris, unable to pick up the first down.
And what an incredible job from the defensive end position by Chief Borders and also Mumu bin Wahad in the secondary. And that's what you want to see from a defensive end. He knows, Chief Borders, that Air Force is not going to pass the ball very much in this football game. So what is he going to have to do to set an imprint on this game? He's going to have to be a part of the run fit.
4th and 3 for the Falcons. Big play here at the Rebels 38. Tied game at 0. 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. Through the motion man. Play action. Zarka, pressure in his face, throws it up, wide open, dropped. Couple steps ahead, intended for his receiver, number 82, Adam Chinro. Unable to convert on 4th down, and the Rebels offense takes over.
And that is a beautiful job by Kwamela, being able to stay in coverage at that linebacker position. When he was able to do that, when they are playing in 3-4 base defense and you have a heavy set offensive lineup like that, you have to be able to stay within your frame, watch the receiver's hips. He did that, setting up a big 4th down stop for this UNLV defense.
And with that, 0 apiece, 9:54 remaining. The Rebel offense will be coming out here on the other side on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back to Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves here for the Rebels football action. It is currently tied at 0 apiece. Both offenses, high-scoring offenses, have been unable to trade blows yet. But 9:54 into the first quarter remaining, and the Rebels offense coming back out onto the field, hoping to get something going here.
And right there, you have that Air Force offense. They're going to be aggressive. They want to win this football game. They are desperate for a win. They are on a 4-game losing streak, and they are going to try to make big plays happen when they need them most today. But UNLV's defense, again, they've been doing a great job of stopping teams so far this year. They kept it up right there.
1st and 10 at their own 38. Quick screen there to the outside. Good catch there by JoJo Earl to the outside.
I love to see Corey Dennis being able to get JoJo Earl involved in this game early. This Air Force secondary has only had 2 interceptions so far on the year. They are very suspect when it comes to playing in coverage. And we're going to need to see Jaden Bradley, Troy O'Meara, and the rest of this wide receiver core be aggressive attacking these DBs today.
Earl with the gain of 3, the transfer from TCU. 2nd and 7 across the middle to Earl. It goes through his hands, incomplete there. It's going to be 3rd down.
Right there, that's all about timing. Right there, JoJo Earl was just running a simple over route coming across the middle, almost like a dig route, but it was a little bit smaller, almost like a drag because he is coming from that slot position. And unfortunately, the ball was just a little bit behind him. But if you're able to get your hands on a football, you have to catch it. You got to catch that football. Fortunately, it's setting up a long 3rd and down right now for the Rebels.
Thomas in the backfield with Calandria. 3rd and 7 at their own 41. Going deep down the near sideline. Flag on the play. It's caught. Omire walks in, but it looks like it's going to be an offensive pass interference. If it does stand, it'll be a 59-yard touchdown for the Rebels. We will go down to the field momentarily. What did you see there, Johnny?
Right here, it might be hand fighting and a little bit of wide receivers and defensive backs trying to jostle for the ball, and it looks like there is 3 flags on the play right now in the secondary, so it might be offsetting penalties, both offensive PI and defensive PI. It looks like they might end up resetting this down and setting up another 3rd and 7. But these are the shots that need to be taken in this football game. This Air Force secondary needs to be tested today.
Partner, you were spot on. Offensive pass interference on Troy Omire and a roughing the passer call on the defensive line. That'll be on number 6 for Air Force, Blake Fletcher.
Right there, Fletcher. He's the leading tackler for this Air Force defense from that linebacker position. Just getting a little bit too physical. You want to keep your hands off the quarterback. You had to stop right there, but unfortunately he puts hands on.
Trips right, but this play is blown dead for a pre-snap penalty. It's got to be a false start on the Rebels. Let's go down to Patrick Foy on the field. And it's Jaden Bradley, the senior, standout this year, called for a false start.
And a lot of those penalties, when you see it on wide receivers or running backs, is simply not being set, not being ready when you're supposed to be ready. Right there, Jaden Bradley, a leader for this football team. He knows better. And now you're setting up a 3rd and 12. You're behind the sticks. Let's see if UNLV is going to try to take another shot to stress the secondary.
9:08 remaining, 3rd and 12 from their own 36. Calandria pressure, unable to get it out. Incomplete pass hit by 2 Falcons there. And it's now another 4th down for the Scarlet and Gray offense.
And that was a great job by this Air Force defense, being able to put up pressure. They do not want Anthony Calandria to sit back in the pocket today and be comfortable. This defensive coordinator, Brian Knorr, he wants to be able to put pressure on Anthony Calandria, make him rush the football out. On 3rd and 12, you would think it would be risky. No, you're making that quarterback have to rush the football out, not go through his reads, not be able to have a clean target for any of the receivers. Now you're setting up a 4th and 12 and able to get this offensive football back.
Now Cam Brown, the Australian native, punting this one way back all the way to the 13. A good punt there. Cade Harris is going to fair catch that one. And so this Air Force offense will come out on the other side. Still scoreless here at Allegiant Stadium. 8:54 remaining in the first quarter. You're listening to UNLV football on Rebel Sports Network. Thanks for sticking with us here on Rebel Sports Network. You're listening to UNLV football here live at Allegiant Stadium. A scoreless bout so far. The Rebels are now on the defensive side. The Falcons take over at their own 13. Partner, what are you expecting to see from this Falcon offense on their second drive?
From this Air Force offense, they're not going to have very many wrinkles to what they do. At the end of the day, they want to smash mouth the football. They want to run the football, and that starts with their quarterback, Liam Zarka. So I feel like we're going to see a lot of the same on this drive today.
Zarka handoff up the middle, pushing his way forward for a gain of about 6 there. Carried by Owen Allen, the junior from Southlake, Texas.
And a lot of these big runs, they're not going to start in the backfield. They're going to start at the line of scrimmage with this offensive line. If you're able to impose your will and make these defensive line tired and have to continue to get past your blocks, it's going to be in the betterment of this Air Force offense and what they want to do today in this football game.
Frew and Allen, the backs for Air Force here. And it's going to be a keeper by Zarka outside to the right. Picks up the first down and brought down at the 25.
And you got to think, when they recruited this guy Zarka, they had to understand we needed an athlete. If you look at the guy, he's 5'11" and 190 pounds. He's built very much so like a running back. And that's a lot of the role that he's going to play today. Although it does say quarterback, he is going to be a little bit of that running back-esque guy for this Air Force offense. It reminds me a little bit of Arborview High School. This is how they used to run their wing offense, and this is exactly what they wanted to do. Smash mouthing the football, controlling the line of scrimmage, and opening up the pass game through that.
Zarka coming into this game, 448 yards on the ground, and a keeper here again. This time for a gain of about 5, brought down for the Rebels by Powdrell.
That's a great job by Andrew Powdrell coming downhill in the run fit. As a cornerback on the outside, he's always going to play that boundary corner position. But right there, he wants to make it known. Again, I'm not going to allow you to just be comfortable in this football game, quarterback. I'm going to let you feel my presence. He does it right there, laying the wood on Zarka right there on that play.
The transfer for Montana State this year, looking to make his dominance known here today. Zarka, keeper up the middle and tackled, ripping for the ball, unable to get it free for the Rebels. It's going to be Bryce Edmondson.
And that might be the first time we've seen Bryce Edmondson so far in this year. A lot of it's been Blessing and Quamuela from that linebacker position, but what a great job being able to read his keys and seeing that even though he's dropping back, a lot of those drop backs are delayed QB power runs. That's exactly what Air Force wants to do today, and he did a perfect job of staying and keeping his eyes on the football and the quarterback.
Edmondson with his first tackle of the day, the transfer from Memphis, now presents a 3rd and 1 for the Falcons, 6:21 to go here in the first quarter. Handoff up the middle, blown up behind the line of scrimmage. A huge loss of down. Great stop there by the Rebels.
Multiple Rebels in the backfield, and this starts with Jaheim Joseph coming down in the box and making a play on the football. But you also have the defensive line being able to stand in and take on the offensive line blockers, being able to fill in the run fit, fill in the gaps, and number 19 was able to make a big play for this Rebel defense.
Landon Thomas with the stop there for the Rebels, forcing Luke Freer, the senior from Fairhope, Alabama, who's built like a running back, 6'4", 225. This kid is huge. Punting this one here and boots it all the way back to Irvin, who receives it at the 30 and will fall down near the 31. And this offense will come out on the other side. 5:31 remaining in the first quarter. Still scoreless here at Allegiant Stadium. You're listening to UNLV football on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves here on the call. The Air Force Falcons have won the last 3 meetings at UNLV. The last time the Rebels won back at home versus the Falcons dates back all the way to 2012 at Sam Boyd Stadium. Now this is the second time in the last 5 years where the Falcons have played inside Allegiant Stadium. And it's been a scoreless affair so far, Johnny. But I'm having a good feeling right here that the Rebels offense is going to come out here swinging.
Exactly, Wyatt. And like you said, this Rebel offense has had the ball, and now it's going to be the 3rd time they've had the football. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to get first downs today. The name of the game for this drive so far for Corey Dennis and this offense, let's get first downs. We need to be able to wear this defense out, and we don't want to bail them out on 1st and 2nd down. Let's try to get something positive and see where that goes for this drive.
1st and 10 at their own 32. Play action with Lee. Fires far side, wide open. Bradley with the step. Cuts back inside the 30, 20, 15, and brought down at the 12. A great throw and run there.
And that is exactly how you get it done. That's going to be good on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Right there, Jaden Bradley just running a simple go route. Right there, Anthony Calandria was able to use the play-action pass and get the ball downfield to his biggest weapon so far this year. And Jaden Bradley at the outside position has been able to show that he is versatile. He can play in the slot, he can play in the outside, and he can stretch the defense. He did it right there for the Rebels.
56-yard reception there for the Rebels. Calandria with the option keeper, makes a man miss, diving inside the 5. Picks up the first down. What a run there by Calandria. An exciting drive finally for the Rebel offense.
Anthony Calandria showing a little bit of that Johnny Manziel magic back when he was at Texas A&M, doing a little bit of a pump fake, getting the defender up in the air like he's in the NBA and being able to pick up as many yards as he can with his legs. But this whole drive all started off of that big play and using the play action, using the threat of Jet Thomas out of the backfield to give the ball to these explosive wide receivers. Now it's setting up a 2nd and goal for this UNLV offense.
2nd down and 1. Calandria on the outside. He walks in. Touchdown, Rebels!
Anthony Calandria showing Air Force their own taste of their own medicine, using that QB power at the goal line and understanding that if it's 2 yards goal to go, I need to get in the end zone. He's able to get outside of the defensive end's frame, use his athleticism to get outside the pocket, and it's touchdown for the Rebels, and they are up quickly in this first quarter.
3 plays, and oh my goodness, an absolute display of offensive powerhouse right here from the Rebels. A quick shot, 56 yards to Jaden Bradley. A good run to the outside by Calandria, and he does it again, this time picking up 6. The Rebels strike on their 3rd drive. They're up 7-0 here with 4:10 to go inside Allegiant Stadium. You're listening to Rebel Sports Network. Three plays, 68 yards, in just a minute 21. The Rebels strike first here in Allegiant Stadium. They lead 7-0 with 4:10 to go. As we were talking, the 2000 team for UNLV football won the Las Vegas Bowl. They went 8-5 on that year, putting this team on the map, as the quarterback Jason Thomas said in an article recently this week. This team is being recognized on the field and being celebrated for the 25th anniversary year. They ended up beating Arkansas 31-14 in their first postseason appearance at that time since 1994.
And a lot of similarities when you're going back to that football team over 25 years ago, and now being able to come back here and seeing the same success that Dan Mullen has been able to have in this first year of this football team. And the sky is the limit for this football team. There is no ceiling to what they can do to finish off the rest of the season going in the Mountain West play. And I believe that if they continue to have dominant performances like we've seen them have so far this season, this team will be ranked come the end of the football season. It just is all about discipline and being able to execute when it matters most on Saturdays for this team.
The quarterback for that team, Jason Thomas, is currently tied 6th all time in rushing touchdowns with Jet Thomas at 24. So some great parallels there. That game, if you're curious, against Arkansas, Thomas was the MVP of that game. 3 passing touchdowns, 217 yards, a near perfect game, 12 of 17, complemented by his running back, Jeremy Rudolph, 92 yards on the ground, and his partner, Nate Turner, as the receiver, 126 yards through the air, was targeting him all game long against Arkansas. And we're seeing a display of that here today, finally, between Calandria and Bradley.
There's something about those J. Thomases in the Scarlet and Goy, isn't there, Wyatt? Just something about that name and being able to be and have that Rebel Red on and coming out and knowing that you are ready to play. But on this last drive from that UNLV offense, we saw some of the artillery that they had through the air. I would like to see that happen again on that next drive.
1st and 10 at their own 25. The Falcons come out onto the field. Six on the play clock. Zarka going to keep it to the right side, gets a lead blocker, and brought down by Jaheim Joseph after a gain of 4 to 5.
Jaheim Joseph showing that he might be up late at night using a little bit of the hit stick, because on that play he absolutely laid the boom down on Zarka. But again, another great play by Zarka, being able to use that outside run and get to the second level, and that's exactly what they want to do. Air Force does not want to play out of character. They want to stay to their game script and understand that they are only down 7 in this football game.
2nd and 5 for the Falcons here at their own 30. 3:30 to go here in the first quarter. The Rebels lead 3-0. Zarka, the keeper, up the middle, has a lane inside Rebel territory at the 49. A huge run there by Zarka.
Once again, you have Zarka being able to follow his blocks and get to the second level. What a great job, but also UNLV has to do a better job of being able to read their keys and know where the football is for the quarterback.
A 22-yard run there by Zarka, the sophomore from Aurora, Colorado, utilizing his legs at full display here. Now 1st and 10 for the Falcons at the Rebel 48. Drops back, firing across the middle, open, flags on the play from numerous referees, and we're going to see where it lies. But as it stands, a completed pass and brought down at the 13 inside Rebel territory for the Falcons.
We'll see if this one gets called back. It might be a little bit of the same situation that we saw earlier with Troy O'Meara and a little bit of that offensive pass interference, because there was 3 flags that were thrown on this play, something that the referee saw on the play.
Potentially a 35-yard completion to Jonah Dawson, the sophomore from Rancho Cucamonga, California. But right now the referees are on the field discussing what they saw.
And if you are this Air Force offense and Mike Thiessen, their offensive coordinator, you have to be happy with what you've been able to see so far on this drive, them being able to successfully use the run to open up the pass game.
A holding call on Amaris Brown will be declined by the Falcons. They'll have a 1st and 10 at the Rebel 13. So the 35-yard completion from Zarka to Dawson will stand. Great play there by this offense.
Great execution right there. Zarka was able to put the ball where only his receiver could get it. Even with the penalty, they were still able to pick up a nice chunk on that play.
Zarka now in shotgun with Gist in the backfield. He's going to keep it after the fake to the motion and brought down for a gain of about 2 or 3 there. Tackled by Lucas Conti, Rebels defensive lineman, sophomore from Corona, California.
It's a great effort by Lucas Conti and this UNLV defensive line being able to stand firm at the line of scrimmage. After giving up a big play like that, you might get a little bit sluggish. You might be a little bit in your feelings. You got to wipe it, dump it, be able to understand that it is now first down. You still have a job to do. Let's try to hold this offense to 3.
The motion outside Zarka, back inside, incomplete pass, and a late hit there by LaTerrence Welsh. Drops Bruin Fleischman, on the turf, and a flag is thrown there. It's going to be unnecessary roughness.
Absolutely, Wyatt. Right there, if you're LaTerrence Welsh, you do not need to make contact with the player after you guys just got an incomplete pass. It would have been setting up a third and 8 for this UNLV defense. That is not a very good play, and that is going to be something that Dan Mullen is definitely going to light into him about. When you're a defensive back, you need to be able to understand. You have to know the down and distance. He does not have the football. You don't need to make contact on him. Marcel McDuffie giving him a good slap on the helmet, understanding that he knows better on a play like that.
Now this presents Air Force with a 1st and goal at the 5. Zarka under center. Terrence Gist in the backfield. And the pitch to Harris. And he's going to walk in. Touchdown, Falcons.
Right there, you have wide receiver, actually, Cade Harris, coming out of the backfield, being able to use that running back toss. And they're able to use him almost like a Debo Samuel in this offense with the way they want to call plays. When you have so many guys being able to play versatile and be able to be put in different positions, that's when they're able to capitalize, and they were able to do that right there on that play.
The senior from South Weber, Utah, answers back for the Falcons, and awaiting the PAT here, kicking it for the Falcons, is Jacob Medina, the sophomore from Chandler, Arizona. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it's through the uprights. Tied at 7 apiece here inside the entertainment capital of the world. You're listening to Rebel Sports Network. Thanks for sticking with us here on Rebel Sports Network. You're listening to UNLV football. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves inside the broadcast booth. Tied ball game at 7 apiece here inside the Death Star. Minute 50 remains in the first quarter. A great drive there pieced together by the Air Force Falcons, Johnny.
And right there, Wyatt, a lot of those are UNLV bailing out that offense. They had 2 huge penalties that were able to get them a great field position, and the biggest one had to be LaTerrence Wells' unnecessary roughness call, being able to set up a 1st and 5 within the red zone. That's not what you want to do if you're UNLV. You're allowing them to get back into this football game. And also Amaris Brown on that holding call. You don't want that. You're bailing out the offense. You do not need to give them things that are going to help them get back into this football game. Unfortunately, the UNLV defense is going to have to live with the mistakes they made on that drive. But I want to continue to see this offense push the ball downfield. This Air Force secondary is prone to giving up big plays like we saw on the last drive for this offense.
6 plays, 75 yards, a total time of possession, 2:20 for the Falcons there. The return by Glover to the 19. Now the Rebels will start from there. 1st and 10, the wraparound. Earl getting to the outside. Correction, Caden McGee with a gain of about 4.
And we talked about it last week when Wyoming played UNLV. We saw Caden McGee make big plays on special teams, and I mentioned that that is how you get playing time if you are a young wide receiver in this offense. So what do? They first play on this drive, they call an end around for McGee, get him going, get him the football.
2nd and 6 for the Rebels. Lee in the backfield. The toss gets outside of the right. Open lane, cuts back inside. A huge gain there, brought down at the 45 for a gain of 22.
What a great run by Kevon Lee, and all this play starts with the wide receivers being able to use their crackback blocks and make sure that those offensive linemen get to the second level, and Kevon Lee being able to use his patience, show his vision as a runner, picking up a great run right there for the Rebels.
Less than a minute to go here, 40 on the clock in the first quarter. Calandria in shotgun formation. 1st and 10 at their own 45. Play action, rolls out left, looking. RPO, he's going to have to keep it here. He might have crossed that line of scrimmage, fires down the sideline, intended for Caden McGee, but it's too far out. Incomplete pass.
And I love to see that Corey Dennis is still rotating these wide receivers, giving Caden McGee, giving Day-Day Reynolds, giving Jaden Bradley, giving Troy Amire, all these options within this offense. And Anthony Calandria on that play right there, scrambling, using his off-the-platform, out-the-pocket ability to try to make something happen. Outside of that, unfortunately, he was able to air-mail that football and get it out of bounds. But you didn't put the ball in harm's way. You threw it where only a receiver could potentially get it, setting up a 2nd and 10 for this offense.
Calandria dancing around in the backfield, able to get away free. It's now 2nd and 10 for the Rebels. Rolls out left. Intended rollout. Fires deep far sideline. Is that a catch? Yes, it is. What a play there. Great hands by Coy Moore.
Coy Moore doing his best impression of the toe drag swag, a little bit of Tony toe tap action, being able to get not 1 but 2 feet down on that play. And Anthony Calandria, when he is bootlegging, he's able to use his shoulders and square up to his target. As a quarterback, that's exactly what you need to do if you're throwing on the move, throwing off platform. That's going to send us into the second half, or second quarter, I'm sorry. But what a great pass by Calandria, being able to stay composed right there.
The 22-yard catch by Coy Moore sends this one tied at 7 apiece at the end of 1. Stick with us here on the other side. 45 minutes to go in this ball game. The Rebels are tied 7 apiece with the Air Force Falcons. The start of the second quarter here inside Allegiant Stadium, tied at 7 apiece. A beautiful, partly cloudy day, 84 degrees here in the valley. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves on the call. The Rebels just following a 22-yard catch from Corey Moore, pushing this drive down the field, moving the chains, and it's going to be 1st and 10 at the Falcon 33.
And what a great job so far on this drive by Anthony Calandria, being able to put the ball right on the money for his receivers, giving only Corey Moore a chance on that last play.
Beginning of the second quarter here, Calandria in shotgun formation with Lee in the backfield. Moore, motion to the right, has to step up, fires to the flat. Moore, the check down, cuts back inside, and is hit after a gain of 6.
And that's what happens when you have so many wrinkles to this UNLV offense. Not only does the defense still have the key in on Anthony Calandria when he steps in the pocket and looks like he's going to scramble, but right there, he's able to give it out to his flat receiver who came in motion and understand that I don't need to take unnecessary hits. I'm going to let my playmaker make a play. He does that perfectly on that play.
Calandria on 2nd and 5 here at the Falcon 28. Keeper throws it. Incomplete pass intended for Jaden Bradley.
That was one of the best times we've seen so far of the Air Force defensive backs, their coverage unit being able to mess up the timing of Anthony Calandria and Jaden Bradley. Right there, Jaden Bradley had to come a little bit late to turn to the football, not able to secure the football enough. And right there, you have a 3rd and 5 now for this Air Force defense. That's where they want to be. Let's see if they're able to go man-to-man here, and UNLV can potentially exploit that on this play.
A monumental 3rd and 5 here with 8 on the play clock. Calandria shotgun formation. Handoff to Lee. Not going to be enough for a gain of about 1 or 2.
And right here, if you are Dan Mullen, I think you have to be confident. You have to like what you see from this UNLV offense, but it looks like they are going to bring out the kicking unit on this play.
That will set up a 44-yard field goal for Ramon Viella, the sophomore from Upland, California. He has been good so far this year.
Been very efficient so far this year by Ramon.
Snap, hold, kick is up. It has the distance, and it's through. That drive ends in a field goal 44 yards out for Ramon Viella, and the Rebels take the lead 10-7 here. 13:33 remaining in the second quarter. Stick with us on the other side for more UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Network. UNLV has won 12 of its last 16 home games at Allegiant Stadium, And the Rebels lead here 10-7 from the 45-yard boot from Ramon Viella, who hit a 36-yarder last week in Wyoming and was clear from 45 yards out.
Now, that's a great job by the UNLV offense, just being able to understand that sometimes you're not going to be able to get the whole steak. Sometimes you can just settle for an appetizer. Right there, they were able to get the 3 points from Ramon Viella, and you're able to get points on the board and make this this Air Force offense have to still continue to play from behind. I liked what I saw from Anthony Calandra on that drive, being able to give the ball to Coy Moore on multiple occasions. Let's see if they're able to put the ball in for 6 the next time they had the football. But if you're this UNLV defense, you have to be a little bit more aggressive. You know the game plan for Air Force. I wouldn't be so much afraid of what they could do through the air, but more so they need to focus in on stopping the run game and being able to meet and the same amount of aggression that Air Force is having at the line of scrimmage.
Multiple flags on the play and an injured Rebel slow to get up. We are going to step aside here. Stick with us here on Rebel Sports Network. Thanks for sticking with us here for that quick timeout. Jordan Eubanks was able to get up on his own and walked off to the sideline. You hate to see someone injured. Hope he is okay. The offsides penalty on UNLV tacks on 5 extra yards after that run. So this offense for the Falcons will begin their drive at the 30.
And right here for the Falcons, they want to continue to do what they've been doing so far in this football game. A lot of their success has been through the run, and they have a lot of different formations they can do out of this power formation right here.
Speaking of formations, 3 running backs in the backfield now motion as tight ends. Zarka, keeper up the middle, huge lane. Good gain there, using his legs, brought down at the 40, and that will move the chains for a gain of 10.
And a lot of the elaborate play calling that we're seeing right now from this Air Force offense is all designed to use Zarka. It's really been Zarka that's been the main one, the main catalyst, the main runner for this football team. Very seldom have we been able to see a lot of the different options for this Air Force offense get the football today.
Allen, Carson, and Harris are the backs here. Zarka's going to keep it, diving forward for a gain of about 5, brought down at the 45.
And if it's not broke, don't fix it. But a lot of the things that UNLV's defense is going to see today, they have so many different looks that they have to worry about when it comes to this Air Force offense. And not only when you have 3 guys in the backfield, as a linebacker, you still have to understand where the football is. But the bad part about this offense is with that option play, he can pitch it at the last moment. So you never know where the football truly is going to be at any time.
Zarka, same play up the middle again. He will be short of the line again, but a 4-yard run will make it 3rd and 1 here for the Falcons.
And for the Air Force Falcons and their offensive coordinator, Faulkner, you have to absolutely believe that, again, I'm not going to shy away and differentiate what I've been doing.
And a quick jump to the line is going to cause a false start on the Falcons. They try to do their own rendition of the tush push, but a penalty flag from pre-snap will cost them.
You're exactly right.
And the penalty flag there on number 60, Gage Spencer, the junior from Seadrift, Texas. Go ahead.
And right there, like you said, they try to use their own version of the tush push, but like we've seen in the National Football League, all of your players on the offensive line have to be set and all have to be moving in unison. And referees are definitely going to crack down on that play going forward.
3rd and 7 here for the Falcons. Play action. Fires near side. Connects inside UNLV territory with Bruin Fleischman. Big first down pickup there for the Falcons.
Huge first down pickup right there for the Falcons. You had Fleischman being able to come from that tight end position and simply run an over route from the left side of the offensive line. And what a great pass by Liam Zerker, being able to show a little of the versatility that he has within his arm for this offense.
An 18-yard catch by Fleischman sets up this first down for the Falcons inside Rebel territory at the 38. 11 minutes to go in the half. Rebels lead 10-7. Option play here. Flicks it outside. Harris tries to spin to pick up more yards, but is brought down by Pope Jr. and Kaihua.
And so far today, if you look at the secondary for UNLV, Jake Pope, that is his 7th tackle today. What a great job by him being able to wrap up, find the hip of the offensive player with the football, and make a great secure tackle. That's what you want to see from your linebackers. When you're able to go down and make a tackle like that and allow your defense to rally to the football, it's going to set a tone for what they want to do on defense so far today.
After the gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Air Force trying to march down the field at the Rebels 36. Zarka, play action, pressure in his face. Borders flushes him out. He has to throw it away. Incomplete pass, and a late penalty there. Going to be against this defense. It's going to be roughing the passer call on Lucas Conti.
And once again, we've seen it time and time again. When you have a quarterback like that scrambling out of the pocket and you know he has to throw the ball away, you have to keep your hands off of him. Because if you do, you are going to be bailing out this offense. And so far, UNLV has been doing that today on the defensive end. That's not what you want to do. You want to make sure that you are not only giving your secondary and making sure that they are appreciated for what they're able to do, but you can't put your hands on the quarterback and allow them to pick up free first downs like that. That's going to keep them in this football game.
That 15-yard penalty will move the ball to the Rebel 21-yard line and a fresh set of downs for the Falcons. That's their 5th penalty for 47 yards on this defense. Looking to capitalize here on this drive. Handoff up the middle, breaking a tackle, and he's in. Touchdown Falcons. That's Owen Allen with the breakaway run from 21 yards out.
And that's exactly what happens when you are able to have options on the offensive end. Right there, what does UNLV believe? That Zarka is going to take the football. What did they do? A simple QB draw, or running back, halfback draw right down the gut of the defense, and UNLV is not able to capitalize and make plays. But again, we see what happens when you have penalties. The offense has to be able to capitalize on that. They were able to do that. Air Force now has the lead in this football game.
It's their first lead of the game, and the Falcons lead 14-10 with 10:17 to go. You're listening to UNLV football here from Allegiant Stadium. 6 plays, 70 yards. The Falcons go down in 3 minutes and 16 seconds from a 21-yard strike from Owen Allen with his second touchdown of the season, gaining the lead for the first time today. The Falcons lead 14-10, Johnny.
And what a great job by that Air Force offensive line being able to part the Red Sea for Allen, and all he had to do was just shoot straight through the gap. But if you're a UNLV in this defense, and Dan Mullen especially, you have to, when you go into halftime, you have to look at the penalties in this football game. 5 penalties for 47 yards that have put this Air Force offense in very advantageous situations. And every single time today they've been put in that situation, they have taken advantage of it. Now UNLV's offense is going to have to answer. But on the defensive end, we need to see them be a lot more disciplined and be able to play with a lot less physicality. You still want to see them be aggressive, but we need them to play smart, high IQ football.
And Glover will turn this out of the end zone off the right side and tackled out of bounds near the 22-yard line. The Falcons, with just 12.5 minutes of time of possession, have ran the ball for 121 yards on the ground. Absolutely effective. You knew this coming into this game. They've been averaging 245 yards on the ground, and they're doing it here so far, and they're doing it efficiently.
They're doing it very efficiently, Wyatt. And like you said, like if Air Force wants to continue to try to keep this lead in this football game, they are going to do it by running the football. That is what their bread and butter is. We need to see UNLV understand that and capitalize on it.
Averaging 6.1 yards per carry, and on first down, Jalen Glover with his own 5-yard carry.
Great job by Jalen Glover coming straight off the kickoff return unit and being able to pick up a nice run on that play. And I love to see, again, Corey Dennis and his offense understanding that it is still a very long football season. They're going to have to rotate guys in, not only Jet Thomas, not only Kevon Lee, but going to their third back and Jalen Glover, being able to have him be a part of this offense.
Officials marked him down for a 2nd and 6 at their own 26. Calandria running for his life, finds a man, it connects. A huge gain there. Good play and hands ready by Day Reynolds, picking up the first down for UNLV.
Big boy Day Reynolds showing that he definitely did spit on his gloves and wiped off that drop that he had earlier on in this football game. And just in case the audience need to know, right there, that's exactly what you're supposed to do as a wide receiver. You want to be able to come friendly to the quarterback and allow your quarterback, if he is scrambling out the pocket, to have a viable option to pass to. That's how you get the football. What a great job by Day right there.
9 minutes ago, the Rebels trail 14-10. Handoff, Glover finds a gap up the middle. Penalty flag on the play. And he's brought down at the Air Force 41, but looks like this is coming back.
I love the burst right there from Glover, being able to stay patient at the running back position, understand where his blocks are, find the open hole, and get to the second level.
The holding call on Austin Boyd, the junior from Lehigh, Utah.
And once again, we see how penalties will affect this football team. We've seen it in multiple games so far this season. We've seen it in the Idaho State game. We see it in the University when they play Miami of Ohio. Penalties will come back to haunt this UNLV football team. They have to play better, more disciplined brand of football, and penalties are a part of it. When they have to play with penalties, they play behind the sticks, and it also messes up the rhythm for what Corey Dennis and the play callers want to do for this team.
So now they're backed up to the 38-yard line. First down for this Rebel offense. Calandria, quick play, throws it to Reynolds. He catches it and is brought down at the 45 for a gain of 7.
Just a simple 5-yard stop right there on the outside. And Anthony Calandria putting the ball exactly where it needs to be for Day Reynolds. And what a great two-hand catch by Day Reynolds, understanding that even with a defensive back right in your face, you still have to do your job, catch that football when it is in a contested catch situation. Great job right there by Day again.
It is now 2nd and 10 at their own 45-yard line. Calandria play action pressure, rolls out right, pointing, commanding. He's going to have to use his legs, steps out of bounds smartly, and it'll be short, but a gain of 7 there on that run.
Very good job by Jalen Glover out the backfield. Anthony Calandria would have been sacked back all the way in the backfield if it wasn't for the blitz pickup by Jalen Glover on that play. That was a beautiful job by him. And great job by Anthony Calandria not being too desperate, not putting the ball in harm's way. You are seeing that going through film study with the coaches, Corey Dennis and Dan Mullen, he's doing a better job of being a game manager and field general for this team.
A poised Calandria here on 3rd and 3. Fires it, incomplete. Bradley unable to get a hand on it. And we're waiting to see if the punt team will come out or if they're going to go for it on 4th. And as it stands right now, this offense will stay on the field.
And right now, Dan Mullen at the midfield yard line, understanding that there's still 7 minutes and 39 seconds in this football game. You still like to see what you've gotten from this UNLV defense. Outside of those penalties, they have done a good job today of trying to contain this Air Force offense. But this is a big down in the football game. Let's see what kind of options Corey Dennis has here on this play.
Reynolds, the motion man on 4th and 3. Calandria hit, throws, incomplete. Intended there for D'Angelo Irvin. And it's going to be a turnover on downs. Great stop there by this Air Force defense.
And all of that goes to Blake Fletcher being able to stop the mesh concept that was trying to get to D'Angelo Irvin Jr., on that play. But all of that starts with the defensive line being able to put pressure on Anthony Calandria and not allow him to have a clean pocket. That's how you have a pass be able to get deflected and pass for incomplete.
A drop pass on 4th down. Turns it over. The Air Force Falcons will be on the field when we come back here on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Network. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves inside the broadcast booth live from the Death Star. The Rebels stopped on 4th down by a drop pass from D'Angelo Irvin Jr., unable to pick up the first down, so the Falcons pick up their next offensive drive on the 48.
And right here for this UNLV offense, they would have loved to be able to pick up that first down, keep the chains moving. But again, you see the story of the game so far, penalties. What would have been a Jalen Glover big 20-yard conversion for a first down turned into a holding penalty. That set up a 1st and 17 and made this team play behind the sticks, and that's when you get desperate. That's how you do not want to get into football games today.
UNLV 0-4 on 3rd down. A big run here by Harris, picking up the first down and brought down at the 39-yard line inside UNLV territory.
Cade Harris, the 5'8", 185-pound wide receiver, showing a little bit of that elusiveness and being able to play like a running back from that receiver position. When the ball is in his hands, you wouldn't think otherwise. In this Air Force offense, they recruit guys they know are going to be playmakers with the ball in their hands, not just through the air, but also win the running game. And right there, they did a great job of calling that running back toss.
13-yard run sets up this 1st and 10 at the Rebel 39. Handoff up the middle to Allen. Only able to pick up one there, brought down by Adelea.
Adelaide right there being able to make a great tackle in the backfield. That is one of the only times we've seen today this defensive end group be able to read their keys, get downhill, and make a nice hard tackle on Allen today. What a great job by him from that defensive end position, being able to read his keys, come like a bat out of hell, and make a great tackle for this team.
Empty backfield for the Air Force Falcons here, and Zarka's under center. The motion man, Zarka, counters to the right and is brought down at the 36 for a gain of 2. Unable to get anywhere there.
And Jaheim Joseph showing how instinctive he is at the safety position, and also Lucas Conti not giving up on the play, understanding that if he still sees a man with the ball up with the football, I need to make contact. I need to get a stop here right now on 3rd and 6 as well.
Falcons 2 of 4 on 4th down, 3rd and 6 at the Rebel 35, 5:45 remaining in the half. Option play, Zarka hit hard and brought down short of the line again. Trey Fulton with the hit there, the freshman from Bakersfield, California.
And you see Trey Fulton, he is dealing with a little bit of a hand injury today. He does have that club on, but that does not mean that he didn't come with his hard hat on ready to hit today. Right there, what a big hit by the freshman safety, being able to come down and make sure that Zarka felt his presence, but picking up a big stop on 3rd down. But again, this Air Force offense is aggressive, and they are trying to win this game. Let's see what they have on 4th and 3.
One conversion so far, unable to do it here on 4th down. Zarka wide open. Powdrill brings them down, but unable to after the line to gain, and it's going to move the sticks here for a gain of 2.
And what another great play call by this Air Force offense and offensive coordinator Mike Deason, being able to make a play and allow his quarterback to have options. We see the same thing with Anthony Calandria. When you're able to use quarterbacks that are athletic as they are in bootleg situations and give them a tight end or receiver to have as a last outlet if their legs aren't able to be that last option, it is a beautiful play call. They're able to pick up a big 4th down for the team.
4.5 minutes to go. Handoff up the middle. Another open lane. And this time he's in. Owen Allen for the 2nd touchdown of the game, extending the lead to 2 scores for the Falcons.
And we are seeing what this running game is doing to this UNLV defensive line and also their linebacker unit. It is wearing this team down. That is the 2nd time today we've seen this UNLV team get gashed right up the middle for big runs. And it's because every single play and down, this Air Force offense is looking to run the football. That wears down your team, and especially wears down your defensive linemen and linebackers who are always getting hit play after play. Right now, Air Force is asserting their dominance in Allegiant Stadium.
Owen Allen, a drive and go for a touchdown of 21 yards. This time, 28-yard strike, putting up the Falcons up 21-10. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Network. Head coach Dan Mullen had said when he first became the coach of the Rebels that this is going to be the best show in town, implying the entertainment value. Every single game has had a lot of entertainment, a lot of suspense, a lot of a roller coaster of emotion, so to speak, Johnny. And we're seeing it here firsthand. We've seen this position before with the Scarlet and Gray. They're down 21-10, 4:26 to go in the first half. What are you seeing?
Right now, I've seen this Air Force Falcon offense being able to impose their will on the line of scrimmage, and that starts with their offensive line. They have done a great job of wearing down this UNLV defense, and that is how we've been able to see them get gashed for so many long runs today. If UNLV's defense wants to be successful, they have to be a little bit more aggressive and try to understand that they cannot continue to bail this team out.
Play action, Calandria finds Bradley for a gain of 10. Omire for a gain of 10 at the 35. Move the chains here. Rebels on the move.
And this UNLV offense has to start on track, and what do? They do a simple QB snag. Right there, they're able to have Troy Omire run that 9 to 10 yard route, stop route, being able to come back to the quarterback, come friendly, come aggressive to the football with a big perk up for the first down.
Now 1st and 10 at the 36. Calandria flicks it forward out of harm's way, not taking the sack, and that will be an incomplete pass. And the running back coach for the Rebels is not happy with that at all at Jet Thomas. Quentin Ganther giving him an earful there.
And right there on that play, it looked like Jet Thomas was supposed to be a part of the running back delay. He needed to be able to pick up the blitz pickup that was trying to come to Anthony Calandria and made him rush the football out. That is very warranted right there, but they still have to stay composed, setting up 2nd and 10.
3:51 remaining, 2nd and 10 for the Rebels. Handoff Thomas up the middle. Speedy back there, bursting through for a gain of 5 at the 40.
And this is a very big 3rd down call right here for Corey Dennis and this UNLV offense. They want to be able to be aggressive, but they have to also understand down and distance and where they are on the football field. Right now, they are down by 11 points, and they do need to be able to pick up this 1st down to stay within striking distance in this football game. We've seen Air Force continue to run the ball. If they do happen to get the ball again in the 2nd half, UNLV may not be able to see it again to end this 1st half.
The Rebels 0-4 on 3rd down today. 3rd and 6, trips left in shotgun formation. Quick swing pass to Thomas, breaks a tackle, breaks a second one across the 50, dragging a man inside Falcon territory at the 33. A huge pickup there and great life for this offense.
And isn't it such a great value to have a check down turning to a big play waiting to happen anytime you need it? Right there, Jet Thomas, when UNLV needs it most, ready to have his number called. And he's making up for the play that he had before where his running back coach was yelling at him. Right there, that's exactly how you answer to adversity. He picks up a big 1st down for the Rebels.
And another run here. Thomas this time a gain of 8 after the 27-yard reception to set up the Rebels inside Falcon territory. That gain of 8 here on the ground sets it up 2nd and 2 at the Falcon 25.
I know we call him Jet, but right now he's running like the wagon. Shout out to Chuck Williams. He's doing a great job of being able to show his power and his speed on this drive.
And again, they go to the well. This time only a gain of 1, but Jet Thomas is lurking. He's starting to feel himself. Reminding me of NFL Street. That game breaker's coming out soon.
Yeah. He's getting activated today.
And with that will bring us to the 2-minute timeout. The Rebels trail 21-10 here inside Allegiant Stadium. Stick with us here on Rebel Sports Network. Jet Thomas with 36 total yards in this drive, 51 yards, 36 of the 51 total yards on this drive, and he has been an absolute display. Finally seeing a little bit of him. He has tied 6 all-time for UNLV career rushing touchdowns with 24. He is tied with Jason Thomas, who was honored earlier with that 2000s team. And this offense 3rd and 1 at the Falcon 24 here. 2 minutes to go in the half. Thomas in the backfield. Moore with a motion man left, but it's handoff to Thomas for a gain of 5, brought down at the 19.
And sometimes the simple play is the best play. Right there, they continue to go to Jet Thomas, and he continues to do what he's done so far on this drive, which is make plays when they matters most. Right there, he's able to pick up the big first down for UNLV, and they continue to keep the ball out of harm's way. That is big. They need to be able to get 6 points out of this drive.
Calandria, play action, surveys the field, checks down to Thomas, stiff arms, and is brought down out of bounds near the 15.
And Jet Thomas is so versatile within this offense, not being able to just be a runner, but also being a safety valve and outlet for Anthony Calandria. But again, I love to see Anthony Calandria continue to make smart plays with the football. He has not put the football in harm's way today. He's been able to be efficient. He's been able to be on time, on target. He needs to continue to do that for this football team. There's a lot of time left in this game.
Rebels trail 21-10 with 1:36 to go. They're inside the red zone. Thomas trying to make some magic here, and is only able to get a gain of 1 there.
It's setting up now a 3rd and 6, but again, you love to see the effort from Jet Thomas. That play easily could have been a negative 3-yard play. With 1 jump cut, he's able to move, try to get as many yards as he can. Unfortunately, it was only 1, but he's able to put this UNLV offense in a situation that's better than the 3rd and 10 with his explosiveness and being able to show elusiveness out of the backfield.
Rebels 3rd and 6 here at the Falcon 14. And a timeout here by the Air Force Falcons, wanting to look this over with less than a minute to go. We'll step aside briefly. Stick with us here on Rebel Sports Network. Big 3rd down here for the Rebels. 58 seconds to go. Down by 11. 3rd and 6 here. Johnny, if you're Corey Dennis, what's the play call you're looking to make?
If I'm Corey Dennis in the red zone, understanding the down and distance, I want to continue to put pressure on this Air Force secondary. We've seen Anthony Calandria have a lot of success passing the ball. All that matters on this play is being able to give your quarterback enough time. Right now, they motion out Kevon Lee to see what the coverage is. It looks like they are in zone coverage.
Empty formation flag on the play across the middle, dropped by Irvin, and another flag in the backfield. They both might be on Air Force here. We will wait the call from the officials.
And right there, if you're D'Angelo Irvin, that is another drop we've seen today from him on a big 3rd down when Anthony Calandria is putting the ball exactly where it needs to be. If you are a receiver, you have to make those catches time and time again. D'Angelo Irvin will have to shake those 2 drops off, come with a fresh mindset, and be ready to make the next catch when his number is called.
We are waiting Patrick Foy, our referee, on the field to make the call, but he is talking to Troy Calhoun, and they are discussing what went down on the field. Two penalties on the Rebel offense, one on Malik McGowan for face mask and the other for illegal formation. Not everyone was on the line of scrimmage, and so it'll be 4th down for the Rebels. Bring out Ramon Viella, who hit a 45-yarder earlier, and now will attempt a 32-yarder here. .54 seconds remain, and Viella sizing up the post here. Awaiting the snap. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it's through. The Rebels bring the lead within 1 score. It is now 21-13 with 50 seconds remaining in the half, and the Air Force Falcons still have 2 timeouts and have an opportunity to put some points up on the board before the halftime break.
Yes, Wyatt, exactly. And if you're looking at what UNLV was able to do on that last offensive drive, obviously you would have liked to see them be able to pick up that 1st down. But again, we've seen what penalties have done to derail this offense today so far, and that's not just the offense, that's the defense as well. When you are having penalties like that and they are knocking you out of field position, they are making you have to make mistakes, it is very hard for you to play a successful football game and try to play a complementary brand of football. Right now, with 50 seconds, 2 timeouts for this Air Force offense, we haven't seen them very often today push the ball downfield. It's been a lot of the rushing offense. The UNLV secondary has to make sure that if Air Force wants to take a shot, they are going to be ready for it. That time now, I'm looking for Amaris Brown, Andrew Powdrill, Condarius Keys. I need those guys to be locked in and ready because their numbers are probably going to be called, and they are definitely going to be tested. There's a lot of time left in this first half. UNLV does start with the football, and I know Air Force has been aggressive today. They've gone for it on 4th down 2 times so far. They will, if they are in the right scenario, will try to make a play on this football game to extend this lead before halftime.
The Falcons have totaled 226 yards, and 173 of those have came through the ground game. Now looking at the penalties, the Rebels have enforced 6 penalties for 57 yards. Has to get cleaned up. We'll see what this defense provides here for the Scarlet and Gray. And Zarka and the crew coming out. 2 for 5 today so far, only 53 yards through the air. But he's been 14 carries, 82 yards on the ground, averaging almost 6 per carry. We'll see what they do here with 50 seconds to go and 2 timeouts. 1st and 10 at their own 25. Under center is Zarka. And it's going to be a keeper up the middle, moving the ball down. A great run there by Allen, 15-yard carry.
And what a great job again by Allen. We've been able to see him numerous times today be able to run under the gut and find a hole and just keep churning. He's almost like a freight train when he's able to get downhill, and UNLV has to shore that middle of the defense up.
Zarko with no sense of urgency fires across the middle. Too high, intended for Harris there. That play burned off 9 seconds. If he got to the line quicker, that might have cut it in half.
Yes, and what a great job in coverage by Jaheim Joseph from the safety position. We've heard his name called a lot today, being down in the box, being in the run fit, but right there showing the versatility at that safety position, being able to stay in coverage, not have any penalties, not have any flags, keep hands off the receiver, and try to high point the football to make a play. He did a great job there on that play right so far.
2nd and 10 at their own 40-yard line. The Falcons lead 21-13. They have 2 timeouts with 31 seconds to go. Pitching it outside, picking up a gain of 5 is Frew. And no signal for a timeout yet from the Falcons as time continues to tick, and it's 3rd and 5.
Beautiful job right there on the outside by Mumu Ben Wahad. We've seen him play a lot of nickel cornerback, but we've also seen him play now on the outside. He was able to hold that block down, contain his player, and allow Marcel McDuffie to come in for the tackle.
And the Falcons will refuse to run another play, allow the clock to run out, and time has expired.
As crazy as that is, Wyatt, it goes back to show they are not going to stray away from their philosophy. This team is a running team. Like you said, Going into that drive, they had 173 rushing yards to start the game. They understand we can go into halftime with this lead. We don't need to put the ball in harm's way to a UNLV defense that has forced over 11 turnovers so far on the year. So what did their head coach do? Let's just let the clock run out, go into halftime, take our wins, and continue to try to play smart football. You like to see them try to be aggressive, but right there they wanted to play air first football. Don't have anything explosive happen that send us into halftime.
Falcons head coach Troy Calhoun is 9-3 all-time versus UNLV, and he's looking to get his 10th win against the Rebels today. The Falcons lead 21-13. We're going into halftime, 2 quarters down. Stick with us here on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Network. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves here on the call. Johnny, what an exciting first half it was for the Falcons. Their offensive play was absolutely efficient and was dominated through the ground game. 246 total yards, and 193 of those came on the ground. Now on the other side, the Rebels, a lot of penalties, a lot of sloppy work. We've seen this road before, almost in a sense, but today feels a little different. It's like, can they get themselves out of this hole?
Exactly, Wyatt. And that's not what you want to do if you're trying to be a football team that is trying to make the Mountain West Conference Championship. You don't want to continue to have to play from behind because it makes you play a little bit more desperate. It makes you play a little bit out of character in a way of from the game script that you would have had coming to this football game. And the biggest story of this game so far has to be the 193 rushing yards for this Air Force offense. On top of that, when you are able to run the ball like that, it churns the clock automatically. With them being able to have a 16-minute time of possession and UNLV playing from behind in this football game, it has gone every way for Air Force Falcons to stay in this game. And then on top of that, the big kicker for this UNLV football team, and it's been something they've struggled with so far this season, is penalties. And it's penalties in timely moments, penalties that give the other team first downs, and also penalties that set you up on fourth down to not be able to get 6 points. UNLV is going to have to clean this up in the second half if Dan Mullen and his team want to continue to stay undefeated in Mountain West Conference play.
The time to act is now, and there's an opportunity for this defense to come out onto the field as the Falcons get the ball first to show up and make some adjustments and hit them in the mouth right from jump.
Exactly. They have to come out ready to establish their dominance at the line of scrimmage, and I need to see the linebackers there right now having to play a base 3-4 defense to try to mitigate what they're doing on the running side of the football. So I need to see UNLV's linebackers, Marshall McDuffie, Blessing. I need to see them come downhill ready to hit. I've seen Jaheim Joseph. I've seen Jake Pope. But I also need the defensive line to win the point of attack and make sure that Air Force is not comfortable running the football this entire second half.
4 total tackles for McDuffie, 7 for Pope, and 4 for Jaheim Joseph. 3 of the names that we've heard a lot all season. And now this offense for the Falcons come out led by Zarka. He's been really good on the ground so far. 14 carries, 82 yards, and through the air, 2 of 6 for 53 yards. They lead 21-13 at the start of the second half here. Ball at their own 25-yard line. Pistol formation for the Falcons. Fumble on the first play, diving for it, and the Rebels recover. A great start there. Marcel McDuffie gets the recovery, and the offense will take over.
And that is the exact type of juice this team needed to be able to get back into this football game. 6 seconds run off the clock, and this UNLV team is able to hit the slot machine and get the football back for this offense. We have seen it time and time again this season. The UNLV defense has now, their 12th turnover on the year, being able to make plays that help them win the football game. Right there, you love the effort from Chief Borders and the rest of this UNLV team being able to find the football, secure it, and get the ball back. That is exactly the break UNLV needed. Let's see if they're going to be able to capitalize with the hand they have been dealt to start the second half.
Zarka tried to hand it off to Harris. Borders dives on it, pops it out, and McDuffie is able to recover it there. Quick pass to Bradley. He throws it into the end zone. Touchdown Rebels. Varquise Gums with the reception.
And that's the first time we've heard Varquise Gums' name heard today. But look at Corey Dennis back home, back in the entertainment capital of the world. What does he do? First play call in the red zone. He lets Jaden Bradley, who had a blocked punt in the last game, not catch a touchdown pass, but in this instant, throw the touchdown pass, and again, you're able to execute and make a big play. Now UNLV is going to have to go for 2 to tie this football game up, but what a swing of events for the Rebels in a game where the University of Air Force has been able to dominate the line of scrimmage, dominate time of possession. They were able to come out, get a big break. Let's see if they can capitalize on this 2-point conversion here to tie this football game up.
1 play, 5 seconds. Potentially 8 points here on this drive, awaiting the 2-point conversion. Klanger quick to the line, play action, and a false start Looks like the receivers were not set there.
Definitely.
And the referees are going to call it dead.
Definitely some movement on the right side of that offensive line. You've seen Jaden Bradley and both Troy O'Meara as well. And it looked like on that play, UNLV was trying to do some type of jumbo set and get out into movement on the left side of the football field. However, guys were a little bit too antsy. On plays like that, you need to be able to be ready. And now it looks like Dan Mullen, considering the down and distance on this two-point conversion try, he's now going to kick it and have to settle for one and let Air Force still have the lead in this football game.
The false start on Day Reynolds pushes the extra point back. But no problem there for Ramon Viella. He puts it through. The Rebels bring it within one on the first play of the drive of the half. Fumble recovery by the Rebels and a pass to Jaden Bradley, who tosses it to Varkis Gums for the touchdown.
Beautiful play, and all that play started. That play does not able to happen without the blocking on the outside. When you were able to have receivers block on the outside like that, give Jaden Bradley enough time to figure out what he was going to do with the football, and then him being able to execute. You have to have the trust of your offensive coordinator to even have the guts to pull off a play like that. And for him to be able to do that, execute, that goes to show the camaraderie, the ability that UNLV has had so far this season to be all in tandem and everybody ready to play for each other. That was a great play call by Corey Dennis, and great job executing on the turnover and being able to get points off of that play.
A little trickery to start off the half for this offense. And what a way to punch the Falcons in the mouth fresh out the halftime break. And now we will see the Falcons offense once again. But this time, hopefully, they change the result. Now
and
back to deep to receive the kickoff is Harris. And now they'll take the second offensive possession at the 25.
And if you're the Falcons, and especially Zarka on this next possession, you don't need to stay rattled. You've been able to have a lot of success today against this UNLV defense. But you also have to understand that going into this next drive, you are only up 1 point. But the play calling and everything that they've been able to do so far with Mike Thiessen and this team, you don't want to shy away from it. You still want to run the football. You still want to be dominant when it comes to the line of scrimmage. Let's see what they can dial up here on 1st and 10.
Zarka, 1st and 10, handoff Harris up the middle. Correction, Owen. Brought down at the 31 for a gain of 6.
And right there you have Allen just being able to pick up a nice hard run. And they've been doing such a great job of running in between the tackles. When you're able to have guards being able to move up to the second level and push those defensive ends and D tackles up, you give your running back so much running room to be able to go through.
Flicking it out to the outside, the toss, penalty flag on the play. Harris picks up the first down, but that might be called back.
It looks like it might be a holding call right here also on this Air Force offense.
Awaiting the call here, we'll send it down to Patrick Foy.
But again, you love to see the wrinkles that Air Force is still being able to come out here. Right there on that last play, what did they do? They call another toss play. When they're able to play out of the gun, or not out of the gun, I'm sorry, under center, their quarterback has so many options to call and so many different choices to give the ball to.
Chop block penalty called on number 67, Cotton Cooley, the senior from Mesa, Arizona. Not allowed to do that. Going to bring that one back.
Nope, and that's just a safety play. You know, a lot of guys when it comes to the second level, and we see this play happen in the NFL a lot as well. When you're an offensive lineman, you want to make sure that that defensive tackle or defensive end is not a part of the play. You try to get underneath him. Unfortunately, that's a very hazardous play. It's a very dangerous play.
The pitch outside, broken up, and hit hard by McDuffie. Through on the carry.
What a beautiful job, and that was something I touched on before this half started, was they needed to see the linebacker play for the Rebels today do a better job of coming downhill. What did Marcel McDuffie do on the play right there? Able to shoot the gap, find the running back's hip, and make a strong, secure tackle. That's exactly what you want from the leader of this defense.
An injured Rebel on the field looks like Jalen Lee. We're going to step aside here. Hope he's okay. You're listening to Rebel Sports Network. A fumble on the first play of the second half fueled a 16-yard touchdown pass thrown by Jaden Bradley. Yes, you heard that right. The receiver for the Rebels, Calandra, with a little trickery, throws it behind. Bradley gets it, throws it to Varquise Gums for his second touchdown of the year, and brings this game within one. Now the Falcons offense is on the field, 3rd and 15. The Scarlet and Gray come out and punch the Falcons in the mouth and have erupted here so far, with only less than 2 minutes drained off the clock in the second half. 3rd and 15 at their own 20. Zarka flicks it out. Harris picks up a good gain, but not enough. And it's going to be 4th down for Air Force.
Wonderful job by Jaheim Joseph coming down ready to hit, understanding that, again, Air Force is not going to shy away from who they are. They want to run the football. Right there, they try to catch UNLV lacking. Jaheim Joseph said, I'm going to come with my hard hat on. I'm going to be ready to hit. And what a great job by this UNLV defense, starting this second half completely different from what we've seen in the first half. Now you're able to get this offense back to football and hopefully, potentially, able to get this lead back in this football game.
Freer drives this one deep back at the 15, and Irvin tries to make a return out of it, but the Gunners stop him short around the 14, and that's where the offense for the Rebels will begin.
Great coverage right there by that Air Force Special Teams unit, being able to not only punt the ball all the way and flip the field position, but also being able to rally to the football. When you have speedy guys like D'Angelo and Irvin Jr., if you let him get outside of your frame, get outside and stretch this Special Teams unit, it could turn a very simple play into a dangerous run. Right there, they had great coverage by the Gunners, being able to make that tackle and make sure that UNLV has to go the length of the field almost to score a touchdown.
Their last drive in the second half, one play, 16 yards for a touchdown. Now they begin at their own 15. 1st and 10, play action. Wide open, and it's Reynolds. 40, 30, down the near sideline, inside the 10, and he's in. Touchdown, Rebels. A 85-yard strike across the field to Day Reynolds.
What a great job of Anthony Calandria diagnosing the coverage, seeing that he was playing against a cover 2 zone defense, and finding Day Reynolds going wide open across the seam. And what did he do? He did not overthrow him. He did not underthrow him, but he put the ball right on the money to be able to stretch this lead for UNLV and give them the lead in this football game. What a great job on the protection, being able to not only fulfill the play action pass, get this secondary looking into the backfield, thinking Jet Thomas is going to get the ball, and Day Reynolds, who had one drop earlier in this football game, showing that I'm going to wipe that off, be able to dance in the end zone, get my jiggy on, and show what I am ready to do in this football game.
And now this offense will go for 2 this time at their own 3-yard line. Calandria, roll out right, a design screen, incomplete pass, flag flies out from the backfield. Irvin unable to come down with it and limping off the field. But there's a penalty flag from the backfield.
Right there, just running a simple rail route to the outside. They were trying to get D'Angelo Irvin to go onto the outside on a simple speed cut, get Anthony Calandria rolling, but there is a flag on the play. Let's see if it's going to be any pass interference or holding that might give UNLV another shot on this play.
The referees are discussing it on the field. And here's the call from Patrick Foy. No penalty whatsoever. But the sleeping giant has awoken. The Rebels take the lead back in the second half, 26-21. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Network. One play, 86 yards, only 13 seconds, a strike to Day Reynolds. And the Rebels regain the lead 26-21. 13:07 remains in the third quarter. Johnny, 2 quick plays from the offense. They're able to put up 2 touchdowns in back-to-back drives in only 2 plays.
And on top of that, it's 13:05 left in this entire third quarter, and the whole entire football game has flipped in the Rebels' favor. You have to think there is something in the air about being back at home, homecoming, the support of the fans, being here in Allegiant. But if you look at the game, one of the notable stats is that both teams are playing very similar football, but on opposite ends when you're looking offensively. Air Force, 200 rushing yards in this football game. UNLV, 255 passing yards. And then if you look on the flip side, Air Force's passing yards, 53. UNLV, that 255. And then their rushing yards, 80. So when you look at what these teams have been wanting to do, Air Force has their script. They have been playing to that. UNLV has their script. The difference in this game, however, is turnovers, and that is something UNLV has done a great job of doing all season long. Let's see if this UNLV defense is going to be able to capitalize with that energy they have so far in the second half.
13 unanswered points in less than 2 minutes to begin the second half. Let's see the Falcons' response here. A quick outlet to Harris, picks up a gain of 5 right around the 30-yard line.
And that's a great play call to be able to change up the wrinkles we've seen so far from this Air Force offense. If they want to be respected by this UNLV defense, who has seen them pound the rock time and time again, they need to be able to wrinkle in a little bit of those play-action passes to keep the defense guessing, keep them on their toes, and allow them to have more options in this game. If they do that, they'll continue to be successful and set themselves up for success in this football game.
2nd and 4, less than 10 seconds on the play clock. Through the motion man, Zarka's going to keep it wrapped up there for a gain of 2. Good play there by Patterson, the linebacker from Vancouver, Washington. And there's an injured Falcon on the field. We will step aside real quick. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves on the call. If you're now just joining us, the Rebels, 2 offensive plays in the second half and 2 touchdowns. A 16-yard pass from Jaden Bradley to Varkees Gums. And then the next offensive drive, 86 yards down the sideline for Day-Day Reynolds. The injured player for the Falcons was Jack Burnett, the senior from San Francisco, the Bay Area. He is okay, was able to walk off, and now the Falcons will continue their drive, 3rd and 2 at their own 33. Zarka under center. Flicks it out for the option. Allen with the lane. Breaks a tackle down the far sideline. Inside Rebel territory. And brought down by Pope around the 24. A great run there for the Falcons.
And great play call there for the Falcons, being able to call that play and allow Zarka to use the option play and understand angles and leverage. Right there, UNLV with the defensive backs are playing a lot of off coverage. So that means if they're going to make a play, they're having to come from a very far side of the football field. Right there, Zarka pitched it to his running back. He was able to pick up the 2 yards and then some on a big down they needed to be able to stay in this football game.
Allen with a 43-yard run earlier in this game has already put it in for 2 touchdowns himself. This time the carry by Carson for a gain of 5. Owen Allen has had an incredible day so far. More touchdowns today than he's had all season long.
Right. So far today, Allen has been the go-to guy for this offense. We've seen Zarka kind of cool it a little bit. The dude does have 15 carries for 84 yards, but Allen has been running hard, using his big frame to be able to get to the second level for this Air Force offense.
2nd and 6 at the Rebel 20. 10:50 and counting remaining in the third quarter. Handoff Carson up the middle. Able to pick up a couple there. Brought down around the 17.5-yard line.
That's a great job by Spellman, Egbase, and the rest of this UNLV defensive line being able to stuff the run. When you're able to do that, that makes Air Force have to bounce it to the outside and make sure that Marcel McDuffie and the rest of these linebackers know that they are going to see pulling guards and tackles trying to get out in motion, get out in space, setting up a big 3rd and 3. Let's see what they have to call here.
Seeing great emotion from head coach Dan Mullen. The fake toss, throws it. What a catch! He's in the end zone. Touchdown Falcons. Fleischman with a great catch, mossing a man from 17 yards out. The senior from Pocatello, Idaho, going up and making someone look small. Bruin Fleischman with the touchdown.
And right there, we seen a little bit of that Idaho State connection right there. But Fleischman doing a great job as a tight end, high pointing the football, not allowing Mumu bin Wahad, who is only 6 foot to his 6'4", using that big frame. As a former basketball player, when you're able to use guys in that way and almost like a rebound, allow them to use their size, all you have to do as a quarterback is throw the ball up high, give them a chance, and let them out athletic somebody. He did exactly that on that play, and what a big touchdown for this Air Force offense, who had been very stagnant to start this the first couple drives in this second half. Now we see them get this lead back and take it right back to the Rebels.
28-26, blow for blow here in the second half. The Rebels trail by 2. 10:08 remaining in the third quarter. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. The Dress Like a Rebel challenge was just going on. We had a couple of young guppers up and running and competing out on the field. Giving a little play-by-play for you, Johnny. We had some fun up here, as always. The Air Force Falcons go down the field and score a touchdown of their own, finally giving a response in this second half. 6 plays, 75 yards, just under 3 minutes, clocking in at 2:59 exactly. And now we're going to see this offense for the Rebels, who have been electric and explosive in the second half, take the field and try to respond once again.
Electric and explosive is exactly the words that you have to say if you are watching this football game on both sides of the football field today. For both Air Force and for this UNLV Rebels, it has been a treat to be able to be here at Allegiant Stadium and see the type of talent that has been on display today. And what a great answer by the Air Force offense, being able to come back, having that fumble in that first drive to start this third quarter, but to be able to respond to those 2 quick 13 points by the UNLV Rebel offense and be able to capitalize on that drive with a big high point touchdown by Fleischman. That's exactly the answer that they want to have, but there is still a lot of football left to go in this game with 10 minutes left in the third. Still, UNLV is now with the football back.
1st and 10 at their own 25. Thomas getting the outside leverage. Flag on the play, and he steps out at the 28 for a gain of 3.
And right there, it looks like there's probably going to end up be some type of face mask on the play.
That call is on Roger Jones, the sophomore from Huntington, Maryland.
And that speaks to how hard it is to tackle Jet Thomas. When you're not able to get a firm grasp on the guy, sometimes all you really can do is grab the man's face mask. But unfortunately, that is a penalty, and it's going to be another chunk play for this UNLV offense to move the football downfield. And again, if I'm UNLV and Corey Dennis, I'm calling a play again. I want Jet Thomas to continue to be the feature back in this offense, and I want to continue to run the football.
1st and 10 at their own 43. Flicks it ahead. Thomas with some space gets outside near the near sideline and is brought down near the 50, showing his elusiveness there.
Not only the elusiveness, but look at Anthony Calandria showing the awareness to know from his blind side at that left tackle position. He had an edge rusher breathing down on his neck. So what does he do? He goes and finds his security blanket, his outlet. A running back is a quarterback's best friend beyond just the wide receiver. He's able to give it to Jet Thomas, and Jet Thomas will always make the first man miss. Great job by both of the players on that play.
About 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. 2nd and 4 for the Rebels. Play action outside, near sideline. Tiptoe. O'Meara, does he have it? They signal it, yes. First down, Rebels at the 32. Great concentration there by O'Meara.
When you have a 6'4" big body X receiver like Troy O'Meara, all you have to do is give him a shot. It has been seen time and time again today that this Air Force secondary, they're lacking the jets on the defensive back position that they need.
And that 19-yard reception will be under review here. We're going to step aside. We'll be right back with more UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Network. And we'll go to the field for further review.
And that is a catch for the UNLV Rebels in this football game. We see Troy O'Meara being able to show the concentration on that play, not only be able to secure the ball with 2 hands, but make sure that he had not 1 but 2 feet down in bounds. But when you're able to have a big body wide receiver like that, you want to let him know that he is a part of this football game. You throw that fade ball to him and allow him to track it, and we'll see if UNLV is going to continue to attack this secondary for Air Force.
18-yard catch, toe tap on the sideline, now sets up this first down. Thomas dancing around the line of scrimmage and is able to pick up a gain of about 5 to 6 there, showing off his skills.
Jet Thomas has such a comfortability with playing through contact and also being patient. Not only can he hit you as a home run hitter and a guy like we see with Saquon Barkley, being able to, once you see a seam, you're able to burst right through it. But he also has a lot of Le'Veon Bell to his game, a lot of being able to be patient, sit through the gaps, understand where the holes in the defense are, and then explode when you have the opportunity.
2nd and 4, pumps, now fires the other way to Thomas. He's able to pick up maybe a yard or 2 there after getting hit out of bounds near the 26.
And I like Corey Dennis calling that call because it allows the Air Force defense trying to be aggressive on JoJo Earl in the screen game. You are able to fake them out and try to get things going the other way. Unfortunately, the Air Force defense was able to be very good when it comes to watching the football and where Anthony Calandri was going, only allowing Jet Thomas to pick up 1 yard. Now,
a very patient drive here for the Rebels. It's 3rd and 3 with 7 on the play clock. Motion man. Calandria looking in the seam. Connects. Waiting for the official sign. But if it stands, Tayshawn Lyons with an incredible catch. As soon as he grabbed it, he was hit, but he stayed with it and was able to come down for the first down.
Tayshawn Lyons with his toughest catch of the year so far. What could have been a hospital ball, a very dangerous pass by Anthony Calandria. But for Tayshawn Lyons to have enough heart and fight to be able to come down with that football speaks to, again, the depth in this wide receiver room for UNLV. And also Anthony Calandria staying in the pocket, taking the hit, and being able to deliver the ball to his wide receiver to put them down in the red zone. You love to see it between the wide receiver and quarterback for that connection.
Able to connect for 18 yards and tack on some more after roughing the passer call on the Falcon defense. Inside the red zone at the 4. 1st and goal for the Rebels here with less than 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 28-26, they trail by 2. Bradley, the motion man. Hand off Thomas, up the middle, fighting for those yards. And he's brought down at the 2. Might I remind everybody, he is tied 6th all time in career rushing touchdowns with UNLV at 24. He needs 1 more to tie Jason Thomas, who was honored earlier with that 2000s team, the quarterback of that group. He is 1 away, and he is 2 yards out potentially from getting 25 in his career with the Scarlet and Gray.
I think it's only right for them to be able to punch that football in. Let's see if they can run it back again with Thomas.
At the 2, 2nd and goal. Same play, off the right side. Thomas fighting for it, unable to get in. Brought down near the line of scrimmage by Dallas Daly, the junior from Renton, Washington.
That was a beautiful job by Dallas Daly coming from that linebacker position and making sure that Jet Thomas was not going to have enough leverage to get into the end zone. There have been 2 back-to-back very good plays by this Air Force defense to limit Jet Thomas and not allow him to explode and get into the end zone.
Thomas has been subbed out of the game, and Kevon Lee will come in. It is now 3rd and goal at the 2. Potentially some trickery here and misdirection from this UNLV offense.
I'm sensing a pass here from UNLV with their subs.
Calandria, fade route, Bradley, no. Overthrown, some contact, no flags on the field. We'll see if this offense stays out there, awaiting the decision from Mullen.
Right here, simply just trying to give Jaden Bradley a chance on the one-on-one outside. No safety coverage over the top. They were trying to give their number 1 receiver a shot. Unfortunately, Anthony Calandria threw it out of bounds and was not able to give him an opportunity to get that football. But great awareness by the defensive back, being able to play in coverage and have great defense right there.
So, Ramon Viella, who's hit 2 already today, for the pooch kick. The spot will be from their 10. Puts it up and in. The Rebels take the lead. 29-28, 5:25 remaining in this quarter. We're going to step aside briefly. Don't go anywhere. Exciting football action coming this way here on Rebel Sports Network. Ten plays, 73 yards, and just 443. 20-yard field goal for Ramon Viella, who hit a 45-yarder and a 32-yarder earlier in this game. And the Rebels regain the lead 29-28. What an odd score, but an exciting second half we've seen thus far in the third quarter.
What an amazing game. And you also have to love Ramon Viella being able to stay locked in. The dude has done his job today as the kicker for this football team and has came up with big kicks to be able to put UNLV back in front of this game. But another great job by the Air Force defense, bending but not breaking, and understanding that, yes, we have allowed this UNLV offense to be a little bit fast and furious in the second half. But they were able to bucker down, hold this team to 3, and now you're giving this offense back to football, who has ran the ball very efficiently today. Let's see what they can do on this drive to potentially get points for the offense.
After the touchback on the kickoff, they'll start their drive at the 25. Falcons run the ball on first down and will be marked down at the 29. Carry by Allen for a gain of 4.
And right there, they don't really get much, but you're still establishing that you want to run the ball. You're still trying to impose your will on this defensive line. But at time in and time out, you're starting to see this UNLV defense kind of key in on what Air Force is trying to do. They're going to have a lot of pre-snap motion. They're going to switch up their looks, but they're not going to stay away from this wing T type of offense.
2nd and 6, pistol formation here. Hand off to the side, has a lane, beats the angle. It's Harris for the first down for the gain of about 7.
And right there, they're simply able to give it to Harris just on a simple sweep. You have 2 running backs in the backfield, and what does he do? He takes the outside zone carry, and he's able to get to the edge of the defense and out-leverage. With this system they are running, they are all about angles and trying to get outside of the defender's frame.
1st and 10 now at their own 39-yard line. Menifee, the motion man, outside, near sideline, caught by Harris at the 50, picks up for the first down.
And that has been open all game. UNLV has played about 10 yards off in man coverage when it comes to the outside in their corners. Right there, Mumu bin Wahad has to be closer. And what is a strength able to do on that play? Zarka is able to put the ball where only Cade Harris can get it, and Cade Harris with a beautiful hands catch on the outside, looking like a young Julian Edelman on that play.
Cade Harris with his 2nd reception of the game for 17 yards total, 11 there. 1st and 10 at the 49. 3:45 remaining in the third quarter. Zarka flicks it out to Frew. He picks up a huge gain of 11 and dropped by Mumu bin Wahad at the end of that run.
Oohs and ahs from the crowd because Mumu bin Wahad came in with bad intentions on the end of this play. But again, with that option game and the threat that Zarka is with his legs, when he sees that the defensive end or linebacker is coming after him with the football, he can easily pitch it to his next option and be able to allow them to pick up the yards they need on the play.
2nd and 1. Did not pick up the first down. Now they do with Zarka, the keeper, up the middle. Brought down at the 37.
Right there, just a simple QB sneak to pick up the yard to gain. And you don't have to do much. If it's not broke, do not fix it. They're able to stay with Zarka. He's able to understand where he needs to get to and continue to move the chains for this Air Force offense.
Ball now at the Rebel 37. Zarka under center with Allen in the backfield. Harris to his left. He's the motion man to the right. Pitches it to Harris and hit hard by Welsh, who felt a little bit of himself from the hit. Might have a little stinger there, but a good hit by LaTerrence Welsh.
You had both of those plays meet up in the middle for almost like a car crash on that play. LaTerrence Welsh did a great job of engaging with the blocker, the wide receiver on the outside, being able to shut off the block and come in and make a good, strong hit to the thigh of the receiver right there on that play, Cade Harris. And right here, you need UNLV, again, to continue to stay disciplined. You know they don't want to pass the football. They're going to run the ball. You have to continue to hit hard and be ready to tackle on this team.
Pistol formation, play action, looking across the middle, up in the air, it's caught, and with some enthusiasm is Jonah Dawson, the kid from Rancho Cucamonga, California, getting up and getting active.
Jonah Dawson, the 5'9", 170-pound wide receiver, showing that he is going to use all of that big frame to high point the football, and what a great, strong hands catch at the catch point.
Small guy, but looking like he has a big frame. 1st and 10 inside the red zone. Handoff, Allen up the middle, has a lane and brought down inside the 5. Almost a house call there. Drop down at the 3 for a gain of 11.
Once again, we see Allen running so hard. Owen Allen out there looking like Braylon Allen from the New York Jets with how hard he is running today, using his frame to be able to get to the second level. And again, when you're able to run the football like this, it tires out the defense. And they have been able to do that so far to this UNLV defense on this drive.
1st and goal at the 3. Allen in the backfield, Harris to the left. Under center is Zarka. Just a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Harris, pitch out to the right side. He's the motion man. Tackled before the end zone. Brought down by number 91, Elias Rudolph. Saves the touchdown there. But they're now at the 1, knocking at the door, hoping to get in here on 2nd and goal.
What a great tackle by Elias Rudolph, understanding where the end zone is and being able to make sure that Cade Harris was not going to be able to take that halfback toss play into the end zone.
15 on the play clock. Zarka under center. Allen in the backfield. He's going to keep it himself. Try their own tush push. A great stop there by Kai Hua and the whole gang getting the stop on 2nd down. Zarka and crew unable to get in the end zone there.
That's a wonderful job by Adelaide and the rest of this UNLV defensive line. Jalen Lee, Lucas Conti, all of these guys are in this jumbo package, in this jumbo set, trying to meet at the line of scrimmage. What an amazing job from the UNLV defense to bend but not break on that play.
And the end of the 3rd quarter, 45 minutes down, 15 to go, will be settled here in the 4th. Rebels lead 29-28. Don't go anywhere. Lots of action from the entertainment capital of the world. Start of the fourth quarter, 15 minutes to go to decide who wins this one for the homecoming game. The Rebels lead 29-28. It would not be a proper broadcast without acknowledging those that have come before. We take a look at some of the notable football alums. Randall Cunningham from 1981 to 84, the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Ickey Woods, running back, 84 to 87. And, of course, the other UNLV Hall of Famer, Jamal Brimmer, from 01 to 04. And we got some Rebels right now in the NFL. We will get to them shortly. It is 3rd and goal at the 1. Falcons knocking on the door. And this house is starting to erupt here inside Allegiant Stadium, partner.
Big play right here for the Rebels. Right here
go.
in the end zone.
3rd and goal. Under center is Zarka. He's going to keep it. And he's stuffed short. Down at the 1. And great stop there by the front.
And UNLV on that play being able to have such a contain, and Justin Flo and the rest of this linebacker unit coming in ready to hit. We have not heard Justin Flo's name get called a lot in these last couple games, but you have to be ready when your number is called. And now is a big decision for this Air Force offense, and it looks like they're going to try to pound it in once again. And UNLV, we need the stadium loud right now.
4th and goal, booming inside Allegiant. Keeper, Zarka, he's in. Touchdown Falcons. They regain the lead.
Looking like the Philadelphia Eagles, running the tush push 4 times in a row, and Zarka kind of twirling his tail a little bit at the UNLV defense. But again, sometimes you have to have the battle of wills, and right there, Zarka able to put his shoulder down against Justin Flo and get into the end zone to put this team back on top in this football game.
The Falcons lead right now. Early in the fourth quarter, with 14:20 remain, and they're going to go for 2. The score is currently 34-29. The 2-point conversion will make it a 7-point lead here. They are under center at their own 3-yard line. Now changes pre-snap to pistol formation. Allen behind him and Harris to his right. Handoff. No, he keeps it, but is stopped short. A good defensive play there by Jake Pope and company. Jake Pope and Lucas Conti with the stop in the area to bring down Zarka.
Jake Pope and Lucas Conti, again, two of the leaders on this football team, making a big play to keep this lead only at 5 points for the University of Air Force. And now you have this UNLV offense that is going to be getting the football back. And again, their backs against the wall, facing adversity in another football game. A big primetime game, their second Mountain West Conference game. Let's see how they're going to be able to answer and respond with 14 minutes left in this last quarter of play.
34-29, you're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Network. Falcons lead here early in the fourth quarter, 34-29, off the run from Zarka, who punched it in and able to regain the lead for Air Force. Now the Rebels have an opportunity to go back down the field and respond with a drive of their own.
And right here for the Rebels, going back to what you had said before, Wyatt, about this team, and when you're going through penalties and you're going through adversity, a lot of the times in these football games, you're going to want to try to rush yourself out of certain situations. Right here with Corey Dennis in the offense, I want to see them be able to pull out a long, nice drive. They have to understand it is a 5-point game. If they do happen to get a touchdown here, it will be 6 points, and it will push their lead to only a 35-point lead. And then they will have to go for 2 to try to push it to 3 and make sure that if the Falcons do go into their territory, they would have to at least get a field goal to tie this football game up. But we've seen this offense be able to come out and score quickly. I want to see them have a prolonged drive and put the pressure on the Air Force Falcons to make plays to finish this game.
From the kickoff from senior Regan Tubbs out in the back of the end zone. So the Rebels will start this drive at their own 25. First down and 10 for the Scarlet and Gray. Shotgun formation here for Calandria. Thomas in the backfield. Rolls out right. Quick throw. Connects with Bradley. Steps back and picks up a gain of about 8 or 9 yards there. Brought out of bounds near to the 34. And then we'll mark him at the 33.
Another great play call by Corey Dennis, understanding that I want to settle my quarterback down. I'm going to make sure that Anthony Calandria comes out with a great, nice, quick read, and that's also going to open up potentially the running game with Kevon Lee on this next play.
2nd and 2 for the Rebels at their own 33-yard line. 15 on the play clock. Handoff up the middle to Lee. Jumps back, cuts in, trucks a man. What a run there, brought down at the 48-yard line for a gain of 15 by Kevon Lee.
And that is exactly how you play complementary football. Like I said, when you're able to pass the ball on first down efficiently and you're picking up 7 to 8 yards, you're opening up the running game and also the play action pass game. Because now the defense has to wonder, are you going to roll out with Anthony Calandria? Is he going to use his legs to pick up this first down? Is he going to give it to the running back? There's so many weapons on this offense and so many choices that Corey Dennis has to choose from.
Trips right in shotgun formation. Bradley, the motion man, left. Calandria looking towards Bradley's way. He has a step. Cut. No! He drops the ball wide open. It would have been a house call. Unable to bring it down, and he's going to want that back.
He is definitely going to want that back, Wyatt. What a beautiful ball by Anthony Calandria to give his wide receiver a shot. On this play, it was, again, a simple play-action pass, and Anthony Calandria puts the ball right in the bucket for Jaden Bradley. And on plays like that, when they're over the shoulder, you have to be able to track the ball in and see it not only with your hands, but with your eyes. Right there, he was unable to concentrate on the football, and that led to the drop on that play.
Lee with a gain of about 2 there on the carry, making it 3rd down. That is the 3rd crucial drop we've seen from this offense. 2 from D'Angelo Irvin Jr., and that one there from Jaden Bradley. An uncharacteristic drop from him as well. So you got to give him a mulligan, but you definitely, if you're a UNLV Rebel fan, you want that one back, and they're looking to capitalize here on 3rd and 9.
And it looks like Air Force is going to play some type of zone. It might be in a fake man look, but you are going to have an opportunity for a shot here.
Trips left, pressure. Calandria has to use his legs, gets outside, picks up the first down and more inside Air Force territory, breaks the tackle down the far sideline. He dives in. Touchdown Rebels, 49-yard run for Anthony Calandria, looking like Superman in the end zone.
Anthony Calandria doing his best Cam Newton impression, showing the athleticism and the legs that we haven't seen much of today because he's been so prolific with his arm. But on that play, 3rd and 9, whose number am I going to call? I'm going to call number 10, and I'm going to push it in the end zone for 6. That is what UNLV needed. This is a guy that, coming from the University of Virginia, had played high-level football in the ACC, in the ACC, playing against teams like Clemson, and going out, coming here to UNLV. This guy has been nothing but a game changer, and is a big reason as to why this UNLV team is 5-0 heading into their 2nd game of conference play.
from his own 49-yard line, busts out a 51-yard run to put the Rebels on top. A quick timeout here. Don't go anywhere. 35-34, the Scarlet and Gray lead here inside Allegiant Stadium. After further review, that touchdown call has been reversed. Calandrio with a great run, tiptoes the sideline, but the inside of his left foot steps out of bounds and touches the white paint at the 27. So no touchdown for the Rebels. They now trail 34-29, but they have the ball inside Air Force territory, 1st and 10 at the 27.
If we were playing college fantasy football, there would be a lot of UNLV fans that would be sick right now. Luckily, though, he picked up the first down, which is all he needed.
Designated screen. Gums this time. Right side, far side. Brought down and thrown out of bounds late. No penalty flag. Inside the 15 at the 13. Good call there by Corey Dennis for a gain of 14.
Beautiful job by Corey Dennis to call, what did he do? A tight end screen play. You have Marquise Gums looking like he's going to block. No, he's actually hesitating, waiting for the offensive line to set up his blocks. They're able to pick up that yardage and have another first down on this drive, setting up a red zone opportunity.
Inside the red zone, 1st and 10 at the 13. Play action, one-on-one. Flag thrown, intended for Bradley, who is held. It's going to be a 1st and goal here. Penalty flag for defensive pass interference.
And once again today, we've seen this secondary for Air Force Academy being tested. Right there, you have Jaden Bradley, our #1 receiver, being able to stay out, try to run that inside slant route, almost like a longer post route on the outside with man-to-man coverage, and the guy simply can't guard him. He's having to grab onto his hip, get too physical, and right there, UNLV will take that chunk yardage any day to set them up half a distance to the goal line.
The penalty flag for holding is on #2, Corey Johnson, the sophomore defensive back from Glendale, Arizona. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line for 1st and goal. Kevon Lee in the backfield, not Jet Thomas. Shotgun formation here for the Rebels. Handoff Lee, and he's in. Touchdown, Rebels!
Kevon Lee showing that he still has what it takes to be the #2 feature back in this offense. And once again, for the 2nd game in a row, Kevon Lee with another touchdown for this UNLV Rebel football team, showing again the depth that this team has on the offensive end. Even so, you love the answer by UNLV. Coming off a great play, we thought Anthony Calandria had that 51-yard touchdown. But what did they still do? They're able to not only kill some more clock off the time, but they're also able to still execute, get into the end zone, and they will be very happy about that play.
A 24-yard run on 3rd and 9 set up that touchdown there. And now the Rebels will go for 2, 35-34. At their own 3, handoff Lee again, fighting for the yards, extends, and he's in, punches it in for 2. The Rebels lead by 3 now, 37-34, 11:26 remains in this ball game, and an electric atmosphere inside Allegiant Stadium. Do not go anywhere, lots of game left here on Rebel Sports Network. Allegiant Stadium is bumping as the Rebels have the lead 37-34 off a 7-play, 75-yard drive punched in by Kevon Lee. It reminds you of how talented this program has become. You have 4 Rebels in the NFL right now. Jonathan Baldwin with the Packers, Ricky Wyatt with the Seahawks, Austin Ajaiki with the Colts, and Jackson Woodard with the Texans. Don't forget, former quarterback for the Rebels in 2003 to 2006, head coach for the Colts, Shane Steichen. A lot of influence coming from Las Vegas, and we're seeing the talent on display here right now as the Rebels lead 37-34.
Absolutely, Wyatt. You're starting to see that Las Vegas is becoming a sports town, and it's very much so been a sports town. Going back to the OGs, Randall Cunningham, what did he do? Start coaching at the high school of Silverado, and he's been able to pour back into his community. Now you're having guys go to the next level from UNLV, and it's only a sign of things to come. We have tons of recruits here at this football game today that are going to potentially be a part of this program and continue to build on the legacy that those guys had, and it's a blessing and a pleasure to be here witnessing this homecoming game, and the atmosphere here in Las Vegas for this UNLV team is absolutely electric.
The kickoff in the back of the end zone. So the Falcons will begin at the 25, 1st and 10. Zarka under center, trailing by 3 with 11:26 remaining. Keeper Zarka near side, brought down at the 34 for a gain of 9.
That was a great job by Zarka, but you would love to see Amaris Brown still try to go after the quarterback, knowing that he's going to be the one that has the ball in his hands first. He did a great job of trying to stay with the contain on the read option, but that's what happens when they're running plays like that. You have to pick your poison. On that play, the poison, unfortunately, was the quarterback keeper instead of him tossing it, and Amaris Brown will want to have that play back when he goes over that tape.
2nd and 1 now at their own 34. Handoff, Allen has the lane, picks up the first down, and is brought down at the 41 for a gain of 7.
Once again, some more hard running by Allen. And this offensive line has done an amazing job of continuing to move the line of scrimmage and give not only the quarterback but these running backs ample running room to be able to get first downs and go where they need to go. Beautiful job by this Air Force O-line today.
11 carries, 141 yards from Owen Allen today. Tack on 2 touchdowns with that. An impressive stat line for this kid. Deep ball, Zarka, intended for Harris, off the mark, had pressure in his face. Good defensive play and stop there from the Scarlet and Gray.
Beautiful coverage in the secondary by Mumu Ben-Wahad, making sure that the wide receiver, Cade Harris, was not going to get outside of his frame, and then also no penalties on that play, setting up a long 2nd and 10. They are almost to midfield. UNLV, when they're able to stop them and make sure they have short yardage or incomplete passes on first downs, it is a recipe for success for this defense.
2nd and 10 at their own 41. Zarka flicks it out. Through inside UNLV territory, pushed and steps out of bounds at the 46.
And once again, it happened again. And Zarka, again, being able at the last second, Amaris Brown tried to be able to put contact on him, and what does he do? He's able to flip it to his running back and allow him to pick up the first down. There are going to have to be adjustments that Paul Gunther and his defense are going to have to make in order to stop this option game, because they are way too comfortable when it comes to calling those plays.
13-yard carry there for Frew. Handoff up the middle is Owen. He's brought down at the 42.5-yard line, 43 for a gain of 3.
With the way these guys are coming downhill and are ready to tackle Wyatt, I would not be surprised if we see another turnover in this football game. Guys are coming down, they are hard hitting, and you got to think, not only for the defense, but for the offense, they are taking a lot of punishment. It wears down on you over the course of a football game. There might be something to look for in the rest of this game.
9.5 minutes to go here. Handoff off the outside. Harris picks up the first down and is tackled at the 36 for a gain of 7.
And it looks like it might be just a little bit short for Harris. Nope, they're moving the chains. He's going to be able to get that first down. But again, he's able to have the vision, and all of this is because of hard outside blocking. When you have your skill position players not be divas and they're all bought into blocking in the run game, that is what makes your run game so prevalent, especially on the college level.
Less than 9 minutes to go. The Rebels lead 37-34. Falcons have the ball 1st and 10 inside Rebel territory at the 35. Oh, it has a lane, breaks a couple tackles, and is able to get inside the red zone at the 20 for a gain of 15 there.
That is the 4th time today we've been able to see Owen Allen, the junior, being able to get to the 2nd level because of the blocking and the lack of pursuit by this UNLV defense. And if Andrew Powdrill does not come from his cornerback position, we might be saying 6 for that Air Force offense right there. This defense needs to bend but not break in this situation.
That run clocked in actually at 17-yard carry, spotted at the 19. Handoff Allen again. A huge chunk play here. Still going. Pushing him forward are the old linemen. And they will stop the forward progress at the 10 for a gain of 9.
These Air Force Falcons have shown absolutely today what it means to be a part of the weight room and how you can continue to get stronger and allow that strength to translate to the football field. Because today, they have been able to absolutely dominate the line of scrimmage and move people out the way at a consistent pace. This UNLV defense has to be very gashed about the way that they're feeling when it comes to stopping the run today.
10 on the play clock, less than 7.5 to go. The toss around, 1st down inside the 5. The carry there by number 3, Matt Long.
It's a great tackle right there, but again, they understand the down and distance. They know the yards to gain that they have to pick up, and sometimes you simply just have to run that play to be able to set yourself up for another 4 downs, and we've seen them go for it on 4th down in the red zone already.
1st and goal at the 6. Shotgun formation. Zarka is going to keep it. Picks up a few there. Brought down at the 4.
And we've seen the stark contrast from this Air Force offense when they are coming from under center or when Sarka is coming from the gun. When he is in the gun, it's very hard for the defense or very hard for the offense to be able to get downhill and go where they want to go. But when he is under center, there's so many different options and wrinkles that they're able to have, and that's exactly why they go back to it in this situation here for 2nd and goal.
2nd and goal at the 4. Zarka 6:15 and counting. Under center, tosses it. Harris has the angle. He's in. Touchdown Falcons, and they regain the lead. Blow for blow here inside Allegiant Stadium, looking like Canelo Crawford from a few weeks ago.
Right here, again, we have Chief Borders on the outside of that defensive end position. We have guards pulling, and they're running the toss play. When you're able to get that much outside leverage on the defense, and you're having a running back or a wide receiver, I would say a wide back in this offense, the way that they use him. Cade Harris with that much speed to the outside, it's very hard for a defense to contain. And once again, we have the Air Force Falcons in the end zone in UNLV.
Awaiting the PAT, Medina puts it up and in. The Falcons lead 41-37. 6:09 remaining in the 4th quarter. You're listening to UNLV football on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Network. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnny Graves here on the call. If you're now just joining us, the Falcons punched it in for 7. They lead 41-37 with 6:09 remaining. It's not even ball when it comes to Air Force play. They've ran the ball 56 times to their 11 passing attempts and have earned 369 on the ground, Johnny.
And because of that success, Wyatt, they've been able to play to their game script. They haven't had to pass the ball at all really much today, with only 11 passing attempts so far in this football game, because they've been able to run the football so extremely well. And for this UNLV defense, if they do happen to get back onto this football field, they have to know Air Force is going to run the ball. Yes, you have to be ready for the play action pass, but you do need to understand that the name of the game for the Air Force Falcons is smash mouth football. They have not shied away from it, but they have an opportunity here, the Rebels, with Anthony Calandria at the helm at quarterback, to have potentially a legacy drive. Let's see what Corey Dennis wants to do on this drive. I feel like Jaden Thomas is going to be heavily involved with what they want to do to finish out this football game and potentially start 6-0 in the season.
We've seen Zarka, and we knew what to expect from him, but Owen Allen, 14 carries, 170 yards with 2 touchdowns on top of it, has had a career day so far. Now coming onto the field is Anthony Calandria and this Scarlet and Gray offense, who has been dominant through the air. And they're looking to answer right back. They have 6 minutes to go with 3 timeouts. Would not be surprised if they took their time going down the field here.
Exactly, Wyatt. Everything right now needs to be about first down, first down, first down.
1st and 10 at their own 25. Handoff, Kevon Lee with patience, bounces out right side, has an angle, and is pushed out of bounds near the 43 for a gain of 18.
And again, what does Corey Dennis do to start this drive? He doesn't start with Jet Thomas, but he actually comes out with Kevon Lee. But they're able to run a simple delayed halfback draw, and he's able to bounce it to the outside. What great blocking on the outside by Jaden Bradley, being there for his running back, giving him ample opportunity in running space, and they're continuing to let that clock run. This is what UNLV wants.
Earl, the motion man from left to right, wide open on the sideline, almost intercepted. It was caught, but not able to get his foot down is Corey Johnson. A risky play there by Calandria.
And right here, it looks like Air Force, one of the first times we've seen today, that maybe their second penalty on today's game. Right here is probably going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct play from the defensive back. Not liking the call, not liking the play.
An unsportsmanlike penalty on Corey Johnson there. Had the interception, could not get his foot down, and he was upset at himself for not being able to turn the ball over and take a huge momentum shift. He spikes the ball on the ground, and that's what they flag him for. That's his first unsportsmanlike penalty here. So it's 1st and 10 for the Rebels at the Falcon 41. 10 on the play clock. Handoff, Thomas waits patiently up the middle now. Flag on the play. Thomas picks up the first down and is stopped at the 31, but this potentially could be taken back.
Flag in the backfield, it potentially could be another hold on this UNLV offense. But again, penalties are the name of the game. When you are giving the offense a break, and right there, Anthony Calandria, he threw a bad ball. That didn't need to be the read right there to JoJo Earl. But if you're spiking the football and you're allowing this UNLV offense, who is trying to work their way back into this football game and get this lead, you don't want to do that, because now you are setting up this offense to have another free down. Same thing goes for UNLV. You try to run a great run with Jet Thomas. What does that do? It gets mitigated because of a bonehead penalty. You do not want those kind of plays in this situation in a football game. The only thing working in UNLV's advantage, though, is the clock in this situation.
Holding penalty on Malik McGowan, the transfer from North Carolina, the senior guard. Now 1st and 20, broken tackle. Thomas down the far side, trying to beat some guys. Running, he's in. tied 5th all time. The Rebels regain the lead. What a house call by Jet Thomas.
Jet Thomas again showing why contact balance is the name of the game for this running back and showing why he is officially tied for 5th all time when it comes to rushing touchdowns at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Jet Thomas showing exactly what he is. And maybe he could be on Air Force because the dude is an absolute jet out of that backfield. And when there is one defender in his way, it is going to take more than that to get him down. He absolutely exploded through the hole and puts UNLV right back on top in this football game.
Jet Thomas takes off for 51 yards to put himself at top 5 all-time in career rushing touchdowns at UNLV. That's his 25th rushing touchdown as a Rebel. Awaiting the PAT here for the Rebels, Ramon Viella. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it's in. The Rebels lead 44-41 with 4:55 remaining. You can't speak enough or highly enough about this kid. Breaks a tackle, bounces outside. It's a foot race, and the Jet is able to land it inside the end zone.
You have to absolutely love it, Wyatt. The dude, he never complains about the football. We never see him on the sideline moping. He understands that Kevon Lee and Jalen Glover and the rest of the receivers on this offense are still going to be needed for them to win. But whenever his number is called on a simple inside zone play, what does he do? He takes it 55 yards to the house. Jet Thomas has shown that he is going to be a leader by example for this football team and is going to be the running back that Dan Mullen absolutely loves in this offense. And Corey Dennis in this offense, what we saw on that last drive was exactly what they wanted to do. They were able to move the ball down the field efficiently, take advantage of the penalties, and on a play where it is 1st and 20, you're able to turn that into a touchdown. That is absolutely superb execution by the UNLV offense. Now, you have to see if this UNLV defense will be able to use their will and get a huge stop on defense to potentially get the football back and get out of the stadium with a W.
11 carries, 88 yards, and 51 of those came on that run there by Jet Thomas. And now the offense for the Falcons come out. But this Scarlet and Gray defense ready to make a statement when time and the opportunity matters most. Will they make it? 4:55 remaining. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. And Zarka and Air Force and company will have the opportunity here. 1st and 10 at their own 25.
The key to this drive so far right now for this UNLV defense, they have to get a good stop, a good play on 1st and 2nd down to limit the choices Air Force has when it comes to this offense.
Handoff, no, keeper. Zarka hit hard by Joseph at the 29 for a gain of 4.
That's exactly what you want. It still keeps it within 5 yards that they have to pick up. You want them to be in a passing down situation because you know that is not the strength of this team. If you allow them to pick up more yards than you like, that is going to keep them open and does not keep the defense or keeps the defense honest. You want them to be desperate in this situation.
With that run, Zarka is now over 100 yards rushing. He fires towards the near side. He connects. It's Cade Harris. 1st down Falcons at the 46.
What a wonderful pitch and catch between Zarka and Harris on that play. And what an amazing catch by Harris, being able to, with Jake Pope down on him, making a tackle, still being able to make a strong hands catch and keeping complete control of the football.
A 17-yard reception there for Harris. 1st and 10 at their own 46. Keeper Zarka inside UNLV territory, tackled at the 49 by McDuffie.
Zarka has such a running back's instinct, being able to play in this offense for as long as he has. He has shown complete comfortability with running behind his blocks and finding the open hole and getting as many yards as he can on every single down.
2nd and 5 at the UNLV 49. Under center is Zarka. Keeper flicks it out, almost dropped, but Harris is able to hold on to it and is forced out of bounds near the 49. No gain there on the play, 3rd and 5.
This is a big down for the UNLV Rebels on the defensive end. They have to understand that Air Force, most likely, if it's a 4th and 2 or less, they are going to go for it at this point in the football game. They do not want to give the Rebel offense the football back, knowing the weapons that they have to win this football game. Let's see what they will be able to dial up here.
The Falcons have only converted 4 of 9 on 4th down. 3rd and 5 here. Looking wide open. It's dropped. Too low of a pass. Intended there for Cade Harris. He had him wide open and threw it too short. It will now be 4th down for the Falcons.
And right there, we see why Air Force has only thrown the ball around 13 times in this football game, because that is not the strength of this team. This team's strength is within the run. They didn't go run on 3rd down. Now they are setting themselves up for failure here on 4th and 5. This is the play of the game. UNLV with off-man coverage on the defensive backs.
The Falcons are 2 of 3 converting on 4th. 4th and 5. They do it here. It's Frew on the far sideline. Inside the 35, brought down at the 34. A huge play there for the Falcons to stay alive in this game.
What great execution by Frew, not only being able to get out the backfield and be able to be the safety valve right there for Zarka, but making the strong catch in a matter of moments where you need the most.
1st and 10 at the 34, handoff. Up the middle, fighting for the yards. It's Allen. And with that carry, it's going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. 3 points is the separating factor. 44-41, 2 minutes to go to decide it here in the entertainment capital of the world. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves on the call here on Rebel Sports Network. The Rebels lead 44-41, but the Falcons have the ball. 2 minutes to go. 2nd and 3 at the UNLV 27. A lot of situational football here. Your football IQ is going to come out here in the last 2 minutes, Johnny. There's going to be a lot that could happen here in just 2 minutes.
If you're an Air Force, you do not want to put the ball in harm's way. You've already worked yourself in the field goal range. You do not need to do anything that is going to make you potentially lose this football game. But you also have to be aggressive. Your team is 1-4. If you're the head coach for this football team, you are wanting to be able to come out and try to win this football game, show that you believe in your guys. Troy Calhoun, I know he wants to win this game for this team, and they want to come out of here with a W and spoil homecoming for the Rebels.
2 Falcons with over 100 yards on the ground. Owen Allen, 177, and the quarterback, Zarka, 108. 2nd and 3 at the UNLV 27. 2 minutes to go. Zarka up the middle. It's Owen. What a good run there. Brought down at the 14 for a gain of 13.
And so in this situation, if you're Dan Mullen, you also have to keep in mind that if they do happen to get 3 or they do happen to get a touchdown, you still need to leave enough time on the clock for this offense to come out onto the field and be able to make plays. But we've seen the secondary for Air Force be very suspect, and especially when it comes to the deep ball. If they have enough time, I would like to see UNLV attack that on the offensive end.
1st and 10 at the UNLV 14. Zarka under center. Handoff to the right side is Allen. Picks up a gain of about 2 or 3 there. They'll mark him at the 12.5-yard line. And the first timeout of the half is UNLV. And an injured Rebel on the field looks to be Jalen Lee. We're going to step aside momentarily. Don't go anywhere. Rebels lead 44-41 on Rebel Sports Network. Jalen Lee was able to get off the field on his own. Hope he is okay. It is now 2nd and 8 for the Falcons at the UNLV 12. Rebels lead 44-41. A minute and 31 to go. Shotgun formation. Zarka, keeper up the middle. Maybe a gain of 1 there. Brought down at the 11. Another timeout for Dan Mullen and the Rebels here. 3rd and long. What's going to happen here, Johnny?
Bend but not break. We're going to see 2 things right here in this football game. We're going to see how aggressive Air Force is going to be on these next 2 play calls, whether they pass the football, whether they run it. If they do happen to run it and they get it between 4th and 5, 4th and 3, 4th and 2, 4th and 1, we've seen them go for it before. If they want to win this football game, they will go for it. If they want to play conservative and understand that they're going to give the UNLV offensive football back, then they're going to take that field goal and be able to run it down and rely on their defense today that has had some trouble against the offense. They're coming off of a 4-game losing streak. You know they're going to be aggressive. I want to see what happens here, but UNLV on those first 2 downs did an amazing job of stopping the line of scrimmage and stopping the run.
If you're Mike Thiessen, the offensive coordinator, and head coach Troy Calhoun, is this 4-down territory, or are you taking your points if it's 4th down?
Absolutely. It's Mountain West play. You're here to win the football game.
Zarka, pistol formation, 3rd and 7. Handoff, Harris trying to get outside. A fight? No, unable to. Flags fly. On the outside was Ben Wahad and Amaris Brown. There are 2 penalties that fly. Could it be face mask on the defense?
I don't know. I didn't see if they were able to get hands on.
We will go down to the field. Patrick Foy on the call. A crucial penalty on Mumu Bin Wahad is called for a face mask penalty here. Did not need to do that. He had the one-on-one. He had help from Jake Pope, and it's now an automatic 1st down, 1st and goal for the Falcons.
Right there, if you're Mumu Bin Wahad, you have to know better. You have to be ready to simply just wrap up. Now you give this Air Force offense the ball back in the red zone with 1:20 and only 1 timeout left. That was a very crucial call.
1st and goal at the 5 is blown dead. A pre-snap penalty from the line judge on the near side. Potentially could be a false start on the Falcons,
which in this situation aids the Rebels, but you're also setting this up again. It is going to be a reset just to 1st and goal again. But if you're the Rebels, it's working against your favor. You understand that if they do get close and they score a touchdown, you are playing the numbers game with the clock at this point in the football game.
A costly penalty by Bin Wahad. 9 penalties on the day, 79 yards. That is something Coach Mullen and company is going to look bad at and cringe.
Yes.
And a false start on the offense, indeed. So now it's 1st and goal at the 10, aiding the Rebels just a little bit here. They lead 44-41, a minute 20 to go. The Falcons at the UNLV 10-yard line. The Rebels with 1 timeout to the Falcons 3. Pistol formation, Zarka. He's going to keep it up the middle. He's in! Touchdown Falcons! A 10-yard carry on 1st and goal. Only takes off 7 seconds. Now forcing the Rebels to have to go down the field and score with a minute 13 and 1 timeout remain.
And if you're the Rebels, unfortunately, yes, you broke. You had that situation. You allowed Zarka to be able to get into the end zone. However, you did leave a lot of time on the clock for Anthony Calandria to potentially have a legacy moment here. Back at home, having played all those games on the road, back at home from homecoming with all the fans in Allegiant Stadium beckoning and rallying for these Rebels to win this football game, there is an opportunity for Corey Dennis to have the right game script, but it's all going to be based on time management. That is going to be very important if the Rebels want to win this football game. It's 6 or nothing.
They're going to go to review on that touchdown call, checking to see if Liam Zarka was down short. We'll step aside real quick. Do not go anywhere. Minute 13 to go here on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. After further review, the touchdown is upheld. So the Falcons will bring out the PAT unit to make this a 4-point game potentially. Johnny, if you're Corey Dennis, you have a sense of urgency. You only have 1 timeout, but you at least have a minute 13 on your side. It's not like they have 10 seconds to get down the field.
Everything when it comes to the offensive end of the ball is going to be passing the football and getting Anthony Calandria out in space. Whether that be bootlegs or whether that be the quick pass game, they're going to want to get the football outside of the numbers because they're going to want to be able to stop the clock. Wide receivers and everybody needs to be aware of the clock every single time they have the football. They need to be able to get down the field and move things efficiently.
The PAT goes through, so the Falcons lead 48-44. But there's an injured Air Force Academy Falcon on the field. We will step aside momentarily. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves on the call here on Rebel Sports Network. You're listening to UNLV football. The Rebels trail 48-44 in their homecoming game. A minute 13 remains, and we're awaiting the kickoff here for this offense for UNLV to come out with one timeout. A potential game-winning drive for Anthony Calandria and company to put together a spectacular finish in the entertainment capital of the world.
This is what you live for if you're a football fan. These are what legends are made of, and this is the moment. Anthony Calandria, starting from his own 25-yard line, he is going to have to push the ball downfield and get this team, not 3, but they have to get a touchdown. But with the weapons that they have on the outside, Troy O'Meara, Jaden Bradley, D'Angelo Irvin Jr., and also Day-Day Reynolds, who had the 86-yard touchdown previously in this football game. I had the utmost confidence in what this team can do against this Air Force secondary.
Calandria, 1st and 10 at their own 25. Trips right, looking, checks down to Thomas on the near side, gets out of bounds at the 30 for a gain of 5. Calandria, before that snap, 16 of 28, 305 on the air, and 1 passing touchdown. Mind you, he's also tacked in 5 carries for 43 yards and 1 touchdown using his legs. And they conserved time on the clock. 1:08 to go. 2nd and 4 here. Calandria firing near sideline. Connects. It's Reynolds inside Falcon territory near the 43-yard line.
Like I said, Wyatt, everything right now in this football game is outside the numbers to the boundary, so you can get your wide receivers out of bounds quickly. What does Day-Day Reynolds do? He runs a beautiful corner route, and he's able to get out of bounds quickly.
27 yards there. Another check down. Thomas this time near sideline. Breaks the tackle. 1st down inside the 30. Moving the chains here, conserving a lot of time and doing a good job facilitating.
That is the IQ you love to see from Anthony Calandria. And guess what? They haven't used one of their timeouts because of the high football IQ of these players. Beautiful play so far by Anthony Calandria.
57 seconds remain. Ball at the Falcon 28. Calandria pressure. Tackle near the line of scrimmage. Not sure if that's a sack, but the time will tick. And head coach Dan Mullen will burn that final timeout with 49 seconds remaining.
Exactly. That's exactly what you're supposed to do if you're Dan Mullen, because you need to keep as much time on that clock. But that play does not happen to be able to have this much time on the clock if Anthony Calandria does not press and play the way that he did on those previous 3 plays. Being able to take the simple check down and allow your playmakers to make plays, and Jet Thomas and Day-Day Reynolds both making sure-handed catches and getting out of bounds, not making any stupid decisions, is exactly what this UNLV offense needed. Now you're setting yourself up to where you are in 4-down territory, but you have plenty of time to clock the football and also get in the end zone potentially to win this football game.
The clock was reset to 50 seconds. It is now 2nd and 10 at the Falcon 28. The Rebels trail 48-44. Both teams have combined for over 1,000 yards total. And the Rebel offense here looking to put it in the end zone to gain the lead for a potential game-winning drive. Shotgun formation, trips right for the Rebels. Calandria, roll out right. Bradley connects. 1st down for the Rebels. At a poor spot by the official there at the 19, not the 18. It's going to be 3rd and 1, and head coach Dan Mullen's not happy with that.
I would be absolutely irate if I'm Dan Mullen, because I went and called a simple flood concept to be able to get Jaden Bradley out of bounds and move the sticks.
3rd and 1, ball at the 19, 44 seconds remain. Calandria keeps it. 1st down and more. Down the near side. Has a block. Trucks his way in. Touchdown Rebels. They get the lead with 36 seconds remaining. A 19-yard run by Superman himself, Anthony Calandria, dancing in the end zone.
Anthony Calandria showing out like the superstar he is and showing everyone in the building that he is the man in the arena. If you are a Gen Z or above, we know that as him. Today he has came out and played like he is him. Over 350 yards passing, and once again, using his legs and calling his own number when it mattered most to put this UNLV Rebel team back on top in this football game and send these fans into a frenzy.
It is an eruption here inside Allegiant Stadium. Rebel Nation is loving it. Their star quarterback is emerging here, trying to make this team 6-0. The Rebels lead 51-48 with 36 seconds remaining. And it is now up to the defense to hold it down and stop Air Force. The Falcons have 3 timeouts and 36 seconds on the clock. 37 seconds now. They just changed it. What a game.
Absolutely, Wyatt. What a game. Again, we are in the entertainment capital of the world, and we have seen week in and week out this UNLV Rebel team seem like they are almost destined for greatness and have still been able to pull out all of these games. When they are in the face of adversity, they have been able to call their own numbers and make big plays when they mattered most. Now, if you are Paul Gunther in this defense, everything must be in front of you. Yes, Air Force has 3 timeouts in this football game, but the script is gone. They have to pass the football. There is no running the clock out in this situation. But if you are the secondary, Mumu Ben Wahad, Amaris Brown, and Andrew Powdrell, you have to understand where the receivers are in this game, and that is going to be their leading receiver, number 21, in Cade Harris. He's going to be the guy that they're going to look for. Also, tight end Bruin Fleischman. He's also going to be another big target they're going to look for. They have to understand they are desperate. They are going to pass the football. You need to stay solid in coverage. If anything, you have a 3-point lead. You cannot allow a touchdown or anyone to get behind you.
The kickoff by Viella puts it in the back of the end zone. The Falcons will start this drive at their own 25. The Rebels are undefeated at 5-0 when scoring 30-plus points or more. They have scored 51 here today. It is up to the defense to win it. Zarka towards the near side, too high, intended for Harris. Incomplete. 5 seconds off the clock. Second down with 32 seconds remaining.
And great coverage on the outside by Andrew Powdrell, understanding the down and distance and where they wanted to get to. Right there, Zerka was trying to hit Cade Harris on the outside on a simple speed cut to get out of bounds and try to conserve their timeouts and conserve some clock. But it's not the strength of this offense. Zerka airmails him.
Zarka coming into this drive, only 14 passing attempts. He's going to have to use his arm here to win this game. Near side, intended for Harris. He brings it in, and it is a first down caught at the 36. 27 seconds remain. 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Clock is ticking now. 25. Zarka, keeper, trying to find a lane. It is brought down by Chief Borders at the 45, and timeout Calhoun, the head coach for the Falcons. 16 seconds remain. They almost lost 10 seconds off that one play.
Exactly, Wyatt. And it goes to show they were trying to use those timeouts and have them in their back pocket, but still, they are still a very long ways away from being in field goal range to be able to give their kicker a viable option to be able to kick that field goal. Still, if you're Troy Calhoun and also Mike Thiessen in this offense, they're trying to do the same exact thing UNLV did on that last drive. Everything is trying to be outside of the numbers, get out of bounds. If you do happen to throw it across the middle of the field, you have to get down right away and call a timeout because time is not on your side. If you're UNLV Paul Gunther in this defense, keep everything in front of you. If you allow them to catch the ball in front of you, you can rally, make a sure-handed tackle, and make them waste their timeout. But you cannot allow the ball to get behind you for a touchdown.
2nd and 1. 2 timeouts remain for the Falcons. They are at their own 45-yard line with 17 seconds to go. They are down by 3. Zarka rolls out right, throws it across the middle, wide open at the 32. Brought down, connects with Dawson, giving life to the Falcons. 7 seconds on the clock. And that's the second timeout for Air Force. A huge play and bringing life for Air Force here.
What an absolute throw by Zarka on that play, being able to roll out to his right and throw across the other side of the field to give it to his receiver. And Dawson was able to make that catch because he came back friendly to the quarterback. When you see your quarterback is going through the scramble drill and he's going outside the pocket, you need to be quarterback friendly. Come back to the football, give him a target, and he did exactly that. That pitch and catch puts them right where they need to be able to make a kick and potentially send this game into overtime.
Medina coming into this game is 20-yard field goal, and that's about it. 1st and 10 at the Rebel 32 off the 23-yard reception. 8 seconds remain.
And you have to think, if you're the Rebels, everything is going to be to the outside. They are not going to throw a shot, and the situation is only 7 seconds.
8 seconds remain. Shotgun formation. Zarka with 1 timeout remains. He's going to keep it. Tries to get some extra yards. He does. Brought down at the 23, and the final timeout with 2 seconds to go. Medina this year 0 for 1 from 40-plus yards out. This one will be around 40 yards.
This is a huge kick right here from Medina. Fans in Las Vegas getting loud, everyone on their feet, everyone screaming and yelling.
Coach Mullen on the sideline asking for the officials' attention. He's arguing something here. 3 seconds remain. The Rebels lead 51-48. The homecoming game. And it comes down to the leg of Jacob Medina, the sophomore from Chandler, Arizona.
The West Coast kid trying to make a big kick here in this situation.
Looks like it's going to be a 41-yard field goal. Can Medina tie it up, or will the miss send the Rebels to 6-0? Snap, hold, kick is up. And it is no good. The walk-off, the Rebels win on the last play of the game, and they are 6-0. Relief throughout the entire building. Las Vegas is on fire.
The entire stadium is up in arms, and through the roof, the Rebels coming out in homecoming, giving them a spectacle, a heartbreaker for the Air Force Falcons, to say the least, by Zarka leading the team downfield, giving Medina the chance of a lifetime to kick it right through the net, and unfortunately, he is not able to make the kick. And the UNLV Rebels, under the Dan Mullen era, are now 6-0 and pressing to potentially see themselves ranked in the next college football rankings.
What an incredible showing. Great heart, great effort, great talent from the Scarlet and Gray. The Rebels win 51-48 on the homecoming game. Jet Thomas tied 5th all-time with 25 career rushing touchdowns with the Scarlet and Gray. Anthony Calandria, amazing as always, 361 yards, 1 passing touchdown, and 2 with his legs. Unbelievable. The Rebels are 6-0 in the Dan Mullen era. From everyone here at Rebel Sports Network, huge thank you to Kevin E. Martin, Marcus Bray, and thank you so much for tuning in. Everyone, have a good one. See you later, folks.